Wait, do I have a razor or something?
Yeah, we don't
It's
have.
on the pencil.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Technology.
No.
Okay, sorry, bro. You mean... Where did it even go? I'm gonna have to go...
That's a good book. If you write the correct answer, you will get 3 points. If both guess wrong, whoever is closest will get 1 point.
Alright.
If you both guess either the correct thing, you get the same point, or if you guess equally close,
Okay.
you get the same point.
Okay.
And we start with the first one. How much does Gore Drinker cost?
The fifth.
It's I mean, I have two numbers in
I have two numbers. They changed them. They buffed them.
Yeah.
They buffed and nerfed.
So I think it's 700 after that.
See, he's doing the math. I just wrote out a box.
Why are you writing it that way?
What? No, but... You know, I'm doing the math in my head, bro.
It's either. Man, it's one of those two.
Choose your answer.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
It costs 3,200, so Jackie gets 1 point for being closest.
I was either 3.2 or 3.4.
No, get fucked.
The correct is 3,200.
Is it 3,200?
Yeah.
3 points on each.
I just guessed it was fucking 300
I was
bonus.
hoping you haven't changed.
It is 3.2k.
It is 3... I took it out. I got rid of 3.2.
Bro rolled
Really?
crowns, like.
I mean...
Hold it the other way, like.
Yeah, like-
hold it like that.
Like
Just
this.
like that. Yeah.
But I don't hold these ones.
How much does Trinity Force cost?
Fuck, I know the old cost.
Is it still the meme price? Like the 333?
3,730.
I mean, they just changed the cost, I'm pretty sure. At least of one of the items. So that's the hard part.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Oh no, why didn't you write it so cranky?
It's the 3333.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
It is 3,333, which
GG.
is correct.
But like when we're going to ADC items, I don't care. Like I'm losing.
It is 3333. Jackie.
Oh! I remember the 2 threes, man!
It's one. It is 3333.
Okay.
Really?
I thought it was old, the cost, and then I just
Yeah.
couldn't think of what it was right now. And I was like, I feel like it's 733 when you buy all the components.
Yeah.
That's
It's
why.
still that troll thing.
It is.
I thought they removed that.
I thought they changed it to be a more even number.
Yeah. How much does Magi Soul Stealer cost?
Oh no.
Is this enough of a middling item for you?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's hard. No, it's not.
I hope they haven't changed it.
Oh.
Oh,
He's sweating.
he's shaking. Can't fuck up now.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
It is 1,600. You're both correct.
Okay.
Oh no, it's 1.6k.
You know all of them. I don't play League. This is with Dark Seal.
1,600, so I think it's closest.
What is
1,250, that's the combined cost when you already have RC.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure. I thought it was
I think it's closer. It's 1,600, which is correct.
It's
I'm getting
350 plus
shit-stoned by
1250. It's 350. No, we're starting to roll. We're
Yeah,
starting
nice.
to roll.
How much does Knight's Vow cost?
Like even not even Chaos knows this. Useless item.
I know that, thank God.
By the way, Jackie, you're support, right?
Yeah,
You
but
play
no
Braum.
one fucking buys that.
You play Braum, don't
What? No!
No, you don't buy that.
You buy that?
No. Okay, I'm ready.
you? Okay, let's see. Oh, you both so far off. It's 2,200, but Jackie is closer.
What? What did you
That
do?
little. 2,800.
3k? Isn't it? It wasn't it 3k?
No, it's 2,200.
Ah, fuck.
But you're still close.
Why is it 240?
I thought it was before for sure.
It is 2,200.
It's actually that cheap?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They changed it.
Complete-
But it
Ah, they
was
changed
2.2. It was 2.3
it
or
was
2.4.
so cheap. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm completely off with that.
Oh, you both guess 2,000. Is it 400 or
Yeah, 400.
The correct answer is 2,200. So you both get 1 point.
But it's so cheap. What is that?
Nah, but like I know it's scam. Like I don't know. Like why are they supports even complaining? Like,
Yeah,
their
that
lives are
makes
so
no
cheap.
sense.
It's like
They're living in Portugal or something with Swedish like salary. It's nothing.
How much does Banshee's vein cost?
Oh, I've actually bought this on Graga so much recently. It's so free.
Can we have IDC item, please?
Wait, what is it even?
No, for real, you don't remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Because I have no clue.
Let's go.
Alright.
It is 2,600. Something is closer. It is 2,600. Accept is 100 gold closer. I'm going to double check.
It's also cheap.
Oh, it's 2.6k, so just a bit closer.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really cheap.
yes.
Correct answer is 2,600. So next
GG,
is
but-
closer.
What?
But so cheap at these items.
I thought it was much. These item costs are screwing with me.
You guys are getting scammed. You're both overpaying. What about
I could-
Turbo Chem Tank?
Well, no, this item no one builds. This is the most useless item in the game. Like literally.
I thought they removed the item.
Wait, that's a new one.
No.
It's super expensive.
Only Skarner players build this, like literally.
True.
I thought they made
That one Skarner player. Because
No one builds this item.
Let's go. Oh, it's 2.8k.
Really? I'm just getting stomped, man.
The correct answer is 2,800, which is closer.
Oh.
It is 2,800, so it's spot on.
Old one was like 3k something when it was
can't
the
lose.
Volibear meta, I think.
I can't lose this thing. That's
I'm not playing the game.
It's very shameful. I mean, neither, bro.
It's 2,800, so once again...
But you're so disgusting, by the way. You're so disturbing.
no, I should put like 1 gold, you know. He's for the VM.
Yeah. Alright, so next one.
Actual disturbing.
How much does Edge of Night cost?
Well, he plays Zed, so this one, yeah, I feel like he should get.
But why do you do that after the item changes? Like,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
I wrote an answer really confident. I was really confident, and then I'm like, nah.
Oh, I bought that today, like 1 hour ago.
How much did you pay for it?
I have no clue.
I
think-
Maybe you got scammed. You need to check the price, man.
Yeah.
E75. His combined cost is 620, I think. It's like 3k exactly. Pretty sure. Oh, wait, no. I'm not gonna do that rookie mistake. It's 219. It's 2,950. 2,900.
Yeah, that's correct.
FF. I had to go.
It is 2,900, so you're equally far away, both with 1 point.
I should have put 2,101. GG.
It is
It's
2,900.
really, I took it out
I
because
put-
I was
I put-
doubting it.
It is
It's 2.9.
2,900.
That's why I was the question between the two.
I'm legit smurfing.
First, I put 3.2k, and then I was like, no, there's no way this item is that expensive. That's like Yumu's item, actually.
Yeah, I put it at 2.9. I was like, why would you ever buy this item if it's so expensive? It's useless. Like,
How much does Anathema's Chains cost?
I don't get that item.
I might smurf this, or I'm grieving. We'll see.
I think it's kinda expensive for that item.
800.
It's... I can actually calculate it. I know exactly the components and combined cost.
Oh, no, this is the expensive. It's like 4k, like legit, no?
No, even 5k, I believe.
Yeah, like
five.
it's actually
Yeah,
five.
it has to be 5.
I believe it's this. at least.
It is 2,500. You're both right. Yeah, you both have it right.
I
Yeah,
did
it's
the same as you.
It's 800,
Yeah,
800,
800,
900.
800.
I've guessed this like 3 times now.
The correct answer is 2,500.
Nah.
That's it. It is 2,500.
Yo, let's go.
3 point.
GG.
I want everyone to share when I get right and boo when something gets right.
That's fine, I don't mind.
Otherwise you're benched.
What about Infinity Edge? How much does it cost? And mind you, it is a mythic item now.
No, did they change the cost on it?
It's a mythic now.
Yeah, but like, actually, you know what? I don't even care. They didn't do anything with it. They bluffed.
If you're done?
Yeah.
It is 3.4k. It is 3,400. You're both correct.
It is 3,300.
What does that say?
2400.
It is 3,400.
I
get
don't know.
gapped.
And I even guessed like 2 more than I was like, I don't know.
It is 3,400.
Yeah, I put 400 by the way. No, man. I put 3,400.
You're griefing, man. You're griefing.
No, I changed it. GG.
final
I
one.
couldn't fail on that.
It's another ADC item, like.
Yeah, please Storm Razor.
No.
Please.
I don't know. It's not Storm Racer.
How much? does
Nah,
Star
but,
Racer-
nah, only one ADC item. Nah, such for season. Holy fuck.
How much does Starex Gauge cost?
I'm not a top laner, I don't know.
I think it's this.
What's your answer? Is that 2,600?
Yeah,
Correct. Answer is 3,100.
but that's such a
I
scam.
mean-
It is 3,100.
It's still. I thought they removed
Yeah,
it.
it was 3.2 before.
I thought it was 3.1.
Because I remember Starex costs 725 when you have to build like the completed item.
Useless.
I believe it is 3.1k.
I was between 3,000 and 3.1k.
Yeah.
He needs all the help he can get. To be fair.
It is 3,100.
No!
That is correct.
I wasn't copying.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another exciting week here at the NLC Second Division. I'm Takeoff, and joined by me is someone I've never actually had the pleasure of casting with before, Brackish Brit. It's so nice to share this podium with you today.
Thank you, Takeoff. And I feel like I've entered some kind of bizarro dimension because, well, one of us had to go color today, and I decided to step into that breach. We'll see how we go. But we'll say
there's an
very
alternate.
excited.
There's an alternate universe out there where you're a color caster, and you're the greatest color caster. So you just need to pull yourself
Interestingly-
from that dimension.
Exactly, yeah. We need to do some like dimensional transposition. Interestingly, I started out as a color caster way back in 2013. We won't go into the story of that one, but we've got 3 great games to come today, Takeoff. And yeah, we'll see how much I step on your toes.
We'll see. Well, speaking of alternate dimensions, there's probably an alternate dimension out there where one of these teams hasn't dropped a single one of their games, but unfortunately, it's not the case. Anima not having the greatest start to their season so far.
No, 1-8 right now. Their only win coming in week 1 against a somewhat floundering at the time 42 Gaming, who they very much upped their standing since then. And it's a shame because Anima, we've seen them. They have definitely been on an upward trajectory. They've definitely been getting better. But right now, it's not at a rate where they're actually catching up to the teams ahead of them. They've shown good early games, but their mid-game decision-making, their macro seems a bit messy, perhaps a little incoherent, and their early games that often can go quite well seem to fall apart a bit for them.
Yep, but on the other side of Light's side, kind of doing well over there. 2-2 at the moment, but they have beaten Anima before, and they did it like we said. Anima does have the struggling with the team fighting, and Light side definitely does not.
They are very much at home in the team fights, our Light side, although not to say that they can't be outdone. They're very comfortable, and the way that I've seen that beats them in more often than not is, well, they're comfortable. Okay, well, make them uncomfortable in some way. Be a little bit spicy in the draft. Do something unexpected on the map. They're good at playing a clean game, Light side, but sometimes, yeah, if there's something unaccounted for, they can be caught by it.
Yep, they definitely do seem to be kind of the team that you want to pull out of the, like you said, the comfort and the meta and try to throw them off maybe with some spicy picks, which we might actually have a chance to do because they are on a new patch for those that don't know. So Ivern and Rel are both enabled. Not only that, Static Shiv is no more. Thank goodness. Praise the esports
We
gods.
don't just get a LeBlanc walking up to a wave, auto-attacking once and deleting the whole damn thing. Now you're actually you're going to have to put some effort into your wave clear. And I think the key illusion there is LeBlanc, we might just not see her anymore. I mean, in Division 2 already, we weren't seeing her being picked that much when she was strong. Teams were not really liking to pick her up very much. So I honestly imagine that unless someone really, really loves the LeBlanc, that we might not see her at all today.
Yep, and on 13.13, that's a tongue twister if I've ever heard one. But another nerf that we did see was the Kindred, a bit easier to invade in the early game now. So I'm not sure if we've been seeing a whole ton of that, at least I haven't, but probably a pick that we might see a bit more caution to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of big for the jungle right now. The situation we see is that all of the big or extremely popular junglers that we've seen over the past months, specifically the Vi and the Wukong, big ones, have seen nerfs. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make people go, okay, we should maybe try and play something else now, because we know how set a lot of experienced players are in their ways. That's the reason Vi and Wukong have been fixtures for the entirety of the year thus far. But with them being knocked down, and especially a buff to Lee Sin, we might see some of the more stylish junglers out there look to go back to making some insect plays on the Rift.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we see that Lee Sin. I've been asking people to pick it every time I'm on here. I always mention the Lee Sin, always mention how I want to see it, but it hasn't come out. Maybe we'll see it this time around. But on the note of jungle picks, I do want to talk about the Rel and the Ivern now that they are enabled. Do you think we're going to see any of that?
I mean, Ivern, of course, is still going to be fantastic, even though the Riot took away one of his toys in his ability to buff share. I mean, he can still do it earlier than anyone else, I believe. You're able to give the buffs across before you've completed the full jungle item. So he still does Ivern things, and people who are good at Ivern will pick Ivern. It's Rel that I'm more interested about, because I love this champion.
Yes.
And it can be played in support. It got nerfed a couple of times in the support role. It was the reason it was disabled on patch 13.11. Now on 13.13, it's more balanced in the support role, but it's also a really fun jungle pick. And personally, I think people should start playing Rel over Sejuani now. You know, when I see pro players miss Glacial Prisons routinely, you know what? Pick a champion with a button that you cannot miss. Fling yourself in with the Magnet Storm. If you miss a Magnet Storm, then I don't know who you should be playing at that point. Like a Moo maybe, so you can at least hit something with a flash ult.
A Moo probably wouldn't be the worst idea if you're having trouble with the likes.
We have
of
seen a Moo. We saw in the LEC, Razzle pulled it out and did amazingly with it. I would not be mad to see a Moo. Again, with these two big, notably very good at tank shredding junglers in the Vi and the Wukong going, we might see the door open up to some stuff. Maybe not the Amumu. We'll see if people are feeling spicy enough to go for the sad boy.
We'll see. That would be kind of fun to see the Amumu jungle, but I do want to talk about another lane, which is Nico. They quote-unquote nerfed Nico, but I don't know about you, but I still think we're going to see a lot of priority on that champion.
Oh, no doubt. She's still incredibly good. Yeah, okay, they made it a little bit easier for you to see her ultimate when she casts it in a not herself form. But I mean, it just means that maybe once or twice you'll get a flash out of it, take a little bit less damage. She's still really good. I still expect to see her potentially tonight, but at least as we're going forwards throughout the patch.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we'll be able to see her in a game. I do want to play the Count the Minion game. That's always fun. But another champion that actually, I'm going to hold my point because we are getting into draft here in just a moment. But last chance. You have any spicy picks that you think might come out today?
I'm going to hold my tongue because I talk about spice a little bit too much. I have read Dune one too many times. The spice flows perhaps a little too strongly through my veins, at least. I love doing weird stuff, usually to my own detriment. So I'm more interested to see what the teams are going to look for. And we immediately, first rotation of bans, we see Rel gone. We see the Nico gone. We see the Milio gone. The Varus ban is particularly interesting, but Relentless does very much like to play that.
Yeah, not too surprised to see that one go away. Gragas also banned out, very frustrating pick to play against with a lot of matchups. Fiora also going to be banned away. Anima do like to play to that top side a lot, so not surprised to see that.
And Maokai was not touched in the patch with Vi and Wukong, you know, tank shredding junglers going down. You can take tanks. And, I mean, Maokai was already good. He shall continue being good. Lightside currently contemplating the Cassante. The fact that you can flex it top or mid, and we have seen these teams doing it throughout the split, means I'm perfectly happy to see that picked up. I would expect to maybe see them match jungle here, but they could just go for a support, and they will. It will be the Rakan locked in. We might see a Xayah picked up in the first rotation as well.
And we'll see if Anima do want to deny that Xayah. It's weird that Lightside are the ones playing Cassante. Usually, I think every game I've casted with Vince, he's played Cassante. And that's, I think that's like 4 or 5 games at this point now. A lot of games I've casted of his, and everyone he's played Cassante. So refreshing to see that. Actually, you're talking about the Xayah, but they're just going to go with the Kai'Sa. That's a really popular answer to the Xayah Rakan is I was going to say Kai'Sa Nautilus, and we see it locked in here.
Really big in times past. Kai'Sa has been rising in priority, this new hybrid build.
Oh.
It's going to be interesting to see. There's the Aphelios locked in for Lightside, so they're going to step away from the Lovers duo. Does mean, of course, they have that hyperscaling carry that a lot of teams are very much liking to see. Going to keep an eye on this Kai'Sa as well, though. We've seen it been played in the mid lane. I don't know if Capstock will want to do it, especially with the nerf to static Shiv. Getting rid of its AP ratio. It could still be fine if Kai'Sa goes for a more AD leaning build, but not for the AP anymore.
Let's see where the Kai'Sa goes. Maybe somewhere spicy, but Olaf and Ari both banned away. Now just waiting to see what this will round it out. Shen, definitely something that I would not want in my game at all. So no surprise to see that banned away. Anima have not picked up their solo lanes yet. At least I think, assuming the Maokai goes jungle. So I'm interested in seeing how they're going to round out this draft.
We still get the LeBlanc ban
coming
out from Anima. And there is the Amumu. You know what? I'm a prophet. Okay. We get the Amumu coming out. It is going to be a jungle Amumu for Empire. I'm so happy to see it. Let the sad boy roam. Anima, we're still looking for AD carry or mid laner and a top laner for them there. So Syndra going to be a disruptive menace. And the Jax. Bit of a skill matchup to go against the Cassante. He will suffer in the early levels though.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see how the Jax can play out. Obviously, that's a high risk, high reward. If you can play the early game well, like you said, it's difficult, but your scaling is very nice. Makes it easier to fight Cassante. Not a lot of people can do that in the later game. Very strong champion. Oh, this is just such a great draft if they lock this. This is so spicy. They do. Okay.
Where's the magic damage coming from, though? It's just the Amumu.
That is true.
I mean, he can build Abyssal. He can build Demonic. He will do an amount of magic damage. But this does feel a little bit like Frost and Quater can just kind of chill, build armor. And especially if Zed wants to try and get in, then you could find him getting himself locked up very, very quickly.
Yep. I think this is going to be an interesting game. Yeah, like you said, not a whole lot of magic damage on light side, so Quater and Frost have a lot of freedom as far as their builds go, can pretty much just stack armor, but you do have to respect the Amumu damage. Like you said, he's kind of doing damage. And it's not a lot, but once he gets the demonic, it is going to be % health, and it is going to start adding up very slowly. So we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of worried about this Nautilus pick in particular. Well, not as much anymore. I was kind of worried about it if they were going to go to Xayah and then the Zed as well, but it is going to be kind of difficult for Nautilus to lock down, a lot of these high priority targets.
Yeah, the Zed is going to be a menace. Although, obviously, as you would expect, he's going to want to stick to the shadows. He's going to want to try and find these slightly weird angles to disrupt the team fight angles coming out from Anima. Which does mean that they have my 3 favorite words are on the side of Anima, technically. Ease of execution. You can play front to back all day long with this Anima composition. Whereas Lightside, to get the most out of their composition, you're going to want to have this mid laner playing a little bit off to the side, is not going to be just straight up fighting, which means there is the risk of him stepping up too soon, getting spotted, caught out, picked, and the fight is just lost. But if it does go well, it can have fantastic results.
Yeah, we'll see if we're gonna see some fantastic results. I'm really a big fan of this mid lane matchup, the Zed into the Syndra. It's definitely gonna be exciting to see. No surprise. I think it was Painful that was starting today, was it? Or is he still on vacation?
No,
Yep, Painful. So yeah,
back.
that's he is quite the Zed player, so I'm really excited to see how this one turns out as standard 5-point starts for both teams here. I was thinking that maybe Anima could try to invade if they wanted to, try to see if they can get a flash out of the Aphelios early, but they're just going to play it safe.
I would have been a fan of the potential spice, but yeah, there is that level of risk associated with going for any level 1 spice, and Anima, they don't want to put themselves on the back foot already if it were to go awry. They're going to try and just build up their own advantages. Never mind, that's 3 members already looking towards the top side. Will they step in? It's hard to say. Not right now, at least.
Yep. Just gonna get that extra XP for the jungle. I always like taking that. If you can get a ward, I love taking it as a solo laner, though.
Yeah, you should really be giving it to your solo laners. I think people are tired of hearing it, but to reiterate, if you give a ward or the ward XP to a solo laner, they get level 2 off their first wave, which is so meaningful, especially in this like Zed Syndra matchup. If Capstock were to hit 2 first, it means that it's much harder for Painful to get anything done in this very early lane. It means Capstock can control Painful, can keep him exactly where he wants him to be.
Yep. Like you said, the level 2 power spike is nice to get early, and both these solo lanes, really, Capstock still going to get the level 2 first, and it's going to do some nice damage, but Painful, with 1 Q, has done the damage back.
Yep, that is the nature of the Razor Shuriken. Does a nice little chunk of damage, Vinze. It's flashy, but it wasn't really all that much to speak of. We see both junglers starting towards the top side. No big surprise. We've seen clearing top towards bottom just to try and benefit those AD carries. Make sure they're safe, secure in their scaling in the early stages of the game. Both junglers have been spotted out by their opposing number. Frost, as he steps into his chickens, will get spotted out as well. Right now, Quater and Relentless are shoving this one in. They're going to try and bounce the wave off the tower, I think, before Emp can get there. However, he is looking towards the mid lane right now.
Yep, Zed is going to go in there into the mid lane. Going to get the flash out of Capstock. So, very nice. Emp already showing some pressure in the mid lane. Quarter. Looks like he wants to put some vision down here. And that he does.
Yep, gonna spot out Emp as he goes onto his own blue buff. That does mean that Frost has the advantage of information, but not really going to be an angle for him to show on this bot lane until the wave has crashed off the tower.
Yep, and interestingly, Emp gonna go back up to his wolves. Not sure if he'll keep going topside once that's clear. We do see some pings down onto the Red Raptors by Anima. Emp gonna be going that direction. So, yeah, not gonna do the Gromp yet. Yeah, that is a bit interesting. A bit of pressure is now lost on the bottom side of the map. We'll see. I was gonna say we'll see if Frost wants to invade or gank bot. Not really at a bot gank angle, so he just goes and he's gonna take the Gromp for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Get himself an extra little bit of a farm lead. Is already 9 CS up. After picking up the Rift Scuttler, will also further that advantage. Emp tries to show towards the top side, but Vinze is more than aware of what's going on.
Yeah, with the last few seconds of the ward's life, able to spot out the potential gank. And yeah. Oh, actually, in the bot side, we see a fight. First blood does go over to Redless, and look at that. Frost ganking from behind the tower. W's gonna land, but still, Nitchit gonna be able to get away, but still, first blood going over to Relentless.
I would love to see how that happens. Obviously, I'll limit production on that one, but Painful taking a massive chunk from Capstock in the mid lane as well. So Anima coming out of the gate pretty strong. First blood across to Relentless. That's exactly where you want to be in this Kai'Sa lane. Obviously, she does not scale as well as Aphelios does, although Emp and Dr. Chaos might have something to say about Capstock.
Yeah, Capstock in trouble here. No flash. Definitely going to fall down. It's just a matter of who they're going to give the kill to, and it goes over to the Zed. Painful getting the first kill of his lane. Yeah, meanwhile on the top side,
Capstock,
Bucci and Vince.
Capstock. You can't do that, my man. I know he was low, but stepping that far up when you don't see the jungler, when you don't see the support, is a one-way ticket back to your fountain. Vince bullying Bucci a little bit, but he won't drop. Just will force a perhaps slightly unoptimal return to the base.
And that grass, we see it sometimes. Jax loves to take it on the lanes he thinks he can trade well in, and that Sheen grass proc certainly hurts. We're going to take a look at the replay here. Walk us through this bot lane first blood.
Nidget stepping very far forwards. Dr. Chaos whiffs the grand entrance. Quater flashes away, survives the last tick of the ignite. Nidget has to burn everything as Frost shows up. Pretty open and shut, and that's just an unfortunate overstep from Dr. Chaos there, gives across his life. However, the trade back in the mid lane, Painful is now rolling on the Zed. It means that everyone who calls themselves a squishy on the side of Anima might want to start getting a little bit worried.
Yeah. And Anima, a lot of flashes are down. Syndra will have hers soon, but Quarter, no flash himself either. We'll have to see if Imp wants to take advantage of that. They're looking mid lane, trying to make something happen before this flash does come back up, but they are spotted out. But I did want to bring something up, the Kaisa build. I don't know if you've noticed, but does have the minion dematerializer, gonna be rushing that static shiv, and is just gonna completely one-shot the waves with it.
Cool. It's nice to see it on an AD carry.
Yes,
Still
finally.
perfectly. There's one thing we want to reiterate. Static Shiv is still a fantastic item for AD carries. The removal of the AP ratio means that LeBlanc can't abuse it anymore. But on AD carries who perhaps lack or lack safe wave clear, like Kaiser does to an extent, it's a fantastic item. It means they can keep the push up. It means that he can try and continue to leverage his advantage over Nietzsche in this early game.
And not only that, but Stormrazor, another item in that line, feels really great on Kaisa. So we might see if Relentless wants to pick that one up or if he'll go for a Mythic next. Yeah. We'll see. I think probably will go Static Shiv first. That's... Oh, actually, I'm going to pause that because Painful looks like he wants to go in here. Deathmark comes down, but nice flash from Capstock, able to avoid the bandage toss.
Yeah, that was flash or die, and thankfully Capstock had flash this time, but that's another 5 minutes before that comes back up. And it's going to be much less time before Deathmark is back up. Bucci might be feeling himself a little bit. Emp is here towards the top side, and Vince will drop.
Yeah, not a very good situation for Vince. Unfortunately, going to get ulted right to the jungler, falls down.
In the mid, though.
Yeah, look at this. They're trying to get a flash of their own back, but they have to be careful. The Rakan is hovering here. They could look for an engage, but not sure if they're confident enough to dive a mage with a Maokai right in here. So they will just walk away. But yeah, I do want to bring up that point you talked about. Mid lane now is going to be a lot harder for Capstock. Deathmark now already halfway to being up again. That's going to be a lot of kill pressure.
Yeah, the fact that Frost got drawn to mid lane meant that Emp was completely free to take away the first Rift Herald of the game. So, first map objective secured for light side. We've got to keep an eye forwards, though. It's 3.5 minutes until the next big objective comes up. That will be a Mountain Drake in that time. And if we could have a quick look at gold production, I would love to try and do a bit of comparison. So, Bucci, of course, grabbing that assist and a slight farm advantage over Vinze, that tiny bit ahead, but it's the advantage in mid lane that I want to track the most. Well, mid and bot lane. We can talk about those main carries. Obviously, Painful is stacking up nicely. It's got about 500 gold over Capstock. Relentless, though, 700 gold right now up against Nitjit. It's pretty unlikely, unless Dr. Chaos finds a fantastic engage, or Emp, or if Painful can absolutely delete Relentless in one of these fights, that Nitjit is going to really be able to step to this Kaiser until he hits that main 2-item power spike when the Aphelios starts to, peek his head above the rampart.
And this Static Shiv already picked up for the Kaiser, already doing work, just keeping the wave crashed. Aphelios not going to be able to go anywhere, but Painful still going to look for the engage here, despite the 1v2. Capstock brought very low. The auto attack will not finish. W.
No!
Oh, no way!
You can't let him get away with it! You can't let him get away with that! He burns everything. onto Capstock. He doesn't even flash. Actually, he does not even flash Painful. That is utter disrespect. He knows, don't worry about it, Chief. I'm fine here. And now Capstock might be getting over-aggressive. Emp bandage tosses onto one. Still looking, but will be dissuaded by the Scat of the Week.
Yep, unfortunately couldn't find the second bandage toss in time. Didn't feel confident in the dive, understandably so. So they're just going to back off for now. Look at this top side, though. Vince and Bucci in a bit of a tense moment. Seems like Bucci does want to try and get that demolished proc, but has to respect the potential Jax. This might be very bad. It's actually very bad indeed. Frost gonna pick up the kill there, but look at this. Emp now hovering the top side. Gonna have to walk through the lane. We'll see if they can set something up. Knocks him right back into the Amumu. Will he be able to get the kill? They will. Nope. This one goes over to Emp.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Relentless goes down. Quater was on the roam, used his ultimate to secure the kill onto Painful. Nitjit and Dr. Chaos say, okay, well, your Kaiser may be strong, but not as strong as two of us. We'll knock Relentless down in his absence.
Yep, now, I don't think they'll... Actually, they might be able to get this top lane. Syndra is walking mid, so could get a lot of damage. They're not going to pursue it, so they're just going to get those 4 plates, call it a day. TP used by Vince as we take a look at this replay in the bot lane. Let's see what happened.
I assume Dr. Chaos went just incredibly ham. Yep, quickness into Grand Entrance. The flash was there, but it really didn't matter. And yeah, easy as that. It is Dr. Chaos who picks up the kill, so not optimal. Wanted that to go on to Nitjit, but meanwhile,
Painful. Trying to find the ugly here. Does flash away. We'll see if the sapling can catch up. I don't think it will. The kitten's chasing, but no mark.
Little legs. Little legs not long enough to run that one down. Painful though. Does have to respect. Vinze's looking as well, but will not find him.
Emp is chasing this one though. Does seem like he's interested in fighting this one. He does have the damage so far. We'll see. Vince, though, does have a lot of sustain with this grasp. Trying his hardest to try and find a kill here, but it's just not enough. Painful able to pick up yet another kill. Meanwhile, back at Capstock, has to respect the light side here. Surely will respect. Maybe not. Walking a little bit forward. Probably just to keep them there, because as you see, Anima are going to pick up this Mountain Drake.
Yeah, keeping them honest as they pick up their second Drake. We are onto an Infernal Rift, so if Anima can keep their dragon stacking going, it certainly makes their chances look a little bit shinier going forwards. Meanwhile, Relentless finds himself a little bit of revenge. Oh no, Painful gets caught by the Nature's Grasp as well. And Capstock will knock that one down for his first kill also. That's a passage of play that turned very bad for Lightside very quickly. Bucci might have something to say about that, though.
Yeah, Bucci trying to find his way in, but won't be able to catch up to the Syndra. Too much distance. On the bot side, Anima are looking to push this one in. That's Scatter the Weak. Max range able to hit Bucci. And now with it crashing in, I'm kind of worried for Capstock's safety, I'm not going to lie, but we'll see here on the top side. Speaking of worried about safety, Vince thinks this is a good situation, but here comes the Zed to turn it around. Emp getting another kill.
This is... I want to think of nice words, but Vinze, this is the 4th time he has gone down this game, and he seems to not be learning his error. And now Capstock walks into his own jungle, gets found, gets killed. That's one on Bucci.
And getting caught does seem to be a problem for Anima. Usually we see them playing a bit more thoughtful in the early game, but right now, getting caught left and right, especially on the top side of the map, where it just seems like Imp has claimed this part of the jungle as his own.
Yeah, stealing things with the cunning use of flags. Frost is looking to step forwards. Bucci does not have the all-out, and so Vinze is going to try and step forwards. The flash will get Bucci away, though. I don't think they're going to want to commit under the tower for that. And a lot committed. But flash for Bucci will be down, so trying to find a flank angle, as Cassantes do sometimes feel like doing. Be a little bit more difficult. Looking back to Relentless, though, we see him still looking towards this more AP focus or the more hybrid focus build. We've got the Static Shiv going up towards what I assume to be a Nash's Tooth. And so 3 items will mean all 3 evolves, but you might be lacking a little bit in the Wave Cliff front, obviously, with that AP ratio gone.
Yep, look at this. They might be considering a fight here. There goes the Infernum ultimate, which, unfortunately, at this stage, it does no damage.
That's just
now,
cheeky. Disrupt the bats.
Yeah, I think that's not what they wanted to do, though, because as you see, Frost is coming in, does not have the ultimate, but it will not matter. TP is going to be coming in, though, as Dr. Chaos is trying to disrupt the fight. Relentless picks up 1 kill. Bucci trying to find the way in onto the Kaisa. A lot of damage coming through so far. Ultimate. Oh, it does separate them. That's so unfortunate, but Dr. Chaos does pick up the kill. Bucci now trying to continue this spree. Quater brought very low. The 3rd Q is not going to land for Bucci. Ultimate now finally up for Frost, but it doesn't matter. Rakan picking up both kills. Painful. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, does take a lot of damage with this tower dive, but Imp now taking aggro. They're going to be able to pick up the kill there, and it's good for them across the map, but Rakan is going to get 2 of those kills.
It's not great, 2 of the kills going into the pocket of the Rakan, of course, but Dr. Chaos, that's probably the richest he's been in quite some time. He's not going to complain about it, and across the map, Lightside are coming out the beneficiaries of those plays map-wide. And now, I think Vinze might be in a little bit of trouble. Yep, there's numbers making their way topside. Ninja is just going to catch the wave as Painful and Emp try to make Vinze learn his plays.
Yeah, Vince going to try to find a return kill here. Very close, but the Gravitum's going to lock him down. And Nidget's going to pick that one up, finally getting his first kill of the game. As did get a couple of them denied, but now finally has a kill to call his own.
Close, but no cigar takeoff. Again, Vinze looking to make the plays when he really has no right to. I mean, he was kind of dead there regardless, so I respect trying to get something off it. But in all realistic situations, he should just not have been that far up.
Now kind of brings you to the question where, you're 0-5 at the moment, which, you can kind of turn that around. You do have, like, the Baus approach where you just continue to be an annoyance in the side lane and you're worth, like, less than a cannon minion.
That might be what he's committing to at the moment.
Yeah, maybe that could be what he could be doing. Maybe the Jax Baus approach. Or do you think maybe playing safe is a better approach?
Well, the problem is right now, if he wants to do the Baus approach, that means that Anima find themselves at 4v5 in pretty much any fight they take. Watch out, Bushi is currently in the fog of war, looking for the angle behind here. Capstock is forced to flash. Nature's Grasp will be a good disengage. However, Quater is the price that is paid for it. And Lightside can just back off of the Drake.
Yeah, Quater gonna go down there. You see teleport being used to try to stop Vince there in the top side. Everyone else gonna go down the dragon. And yeah, like he said, they're kind of forced to fight these fights. Oh, but look at this. Relentless now has come to make this a 2v1. Huge damage from Vince on that Sheen proc, and Grass combined is going to just delete the Zed's health bar. But they do lose the dragon.
As I was alluding to earlier, if you have Vinze trying to be annoying on a side lane, that means you're automatically at a numbers disadvantage for these big fights. Now, Anima don't necessarily need to rush Soul. They've got those 2 Drakes early, which means they can try and wait until Jax hits a scarier power point. But now we're worried about looking towards the base as Shelly is used on the tier 2 turret. Vinze and Quota have to sit and wait for Lightside to get bored of ruining their wave.
Yep. Vince just kind of come bot and catch all the CS. Does at least have that going for him. Decent amount of farm. But, we'll see if maybe now he can cause problems on this bottom side of the map with Baron coming up in a minute, 10 seconds. Probably won't see any, like, early rushing. Probably don't think Lightside or Anima have the damage for that. Well, you never know with Kaisa. I always think Kaisa doesn't have the damage, and then she just melts Baron buff.
Plasma... Yeah, Plasma's a heck of a thing, really, especially when you have built some AP, as Relentless has. Looking, though, we see it's a 6,000 gold advantage for Lightside. They don't necessarily have the fastest Baron take, but they can just start it to say, hey, Anima, ooh, look, we're going to take Barons. Never mind, actually, Dr. Chaos forcing the flash out from Frost.
Yeah, and now Bucci here on the side to try to catch Frost. Unfortunately, knock-up Q not going to land. As now we see Anima kind of 1-3-1 in here trying to defend the push in the mid lane, while the solo laners are just getting some gold in their pockets on these side lanes. Jax, though, pretty pushed up, so we are going to see Bucci answer that. Lightside still trying to get vision control in this jungle.
I like the fact that Anima are playing respectfully at this point. They are not overstepping their bounds. Vinze should be able to get this tower and get out. Bucci, yeah, will just be able to catch it. So, bounty claimed. Gold in the pockets of Anima, despite Vinze being, as you said, basically a very fancy-looking cannon minion. Oh, painful. In some pain. Don't know exactly what happened there, but Capstock's health bar tells a tale of a death mark gone awry.
Yeah, almost was able to make it 1-for-1. Unfortunately, not able to do so. I just noticed that Syndra has first strike, which is something I'd love to see on there, but I never see.
It was very popular for a time. I liked it for the lane. And of course, when you press the Unleash power, the flat bonus damage that getting the first strike proc gives, very, very nice indeed, especially when you get to the higher stacks of the Splinters of Wrath and can just delete somebody.
They're fighting over this big chicken, but it does seem like Frost is going to be the one to get it. It would have been hilarious if Bucci was able to steal it away, but he sees 4 members, wants nothing to do with that, goes back to mid lane to catch the wave, and you know, we kind of talked about the, you know, kind of one, like, not entirely one-dimensional, but somewhat one-dimensional damage on the side of light side, but we're not really seeing, at least yet, any true punishment to that. We do see the ninja, or I'm sorry, plated steel caps on the top laner and the support, but no,
we can call it.
no armor
It's still
stacking.
Tabby's in our heart. It's still Tabby's in our heart.
I don't know why they changed it.
Is Quater has built Abyssal Mask,
Yeah.
which is a magic resist item. Okay,
I was just about to say that.
It drains the magic resist from the light side members, but I don't think it's really needed all that much. We see the first true armor item picked up. It's a Zhonya's.
Oh, thank goodness. Zhonya's is definitely the item you want to buy here, but this is not the fight you want if you're Anima. They're going to take their exit and just back off, but Capstock in the top side and Vince in the bottom side. I'm not going to be able to join them. We'll see if they want to go Baron. They're certainly hovering it, definitely want to threaten it at least, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to start it up. We'll see if Anima want to respond, but I don't know. A fight in this choke point might not be the greatest for them at the moment. We'll see what they can do. Painful running up, trying to find something. As look at this, Bucci on the flank. Flash from Dr. Chaos is going to find the double knockup. Teleport going to be coming in. We'll see what they can do here. Fight's going through. Nice ultimate from the Amumu. Painful's able to pick up a kill. Double kill for him. Make it a triple as they just wipe the board. Quadra kill. Will we see the penta from Painful? You have to give it to him. There it is. Penta kill for Painful on his Zed. That's an ace, and that's surely the Baron for Lightside.
And Lightside call the bluff. As I said before, ooh, Anima, we're taking the Baron. What are you going to do about it? They come and fight. While they're 6,000 gold down, Painful says, do not mind if I do. Racks them all up, knocks them down. Lightside will claim the Baron at 23 minutes. That elevates their gold lead to 8,000. And it's now a case of strangling the map. Getting this next Drake, pushing out the lanes, keeping Anima in constant fear of this terrifying Master Assassin being around any corner.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've seen a Zed pentakill in such a long time. Usually because the spells are so bursty, but just makes it happen. Able to pick up all 5 members, and now they have this giant advantage in their pocket. Huge gold for the mid laner, and now they're going to just take this Infernal uncontested. I mean, they just get to stack these up basically for the rest of the game. It's going to... Yeah. This Zed is just going to hurt so much.
For Anima at this point,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a lot of AD right there. I do want to lock in onto Painful's build a little bit, because this is why we saw the less bursty style coming out. We've got a Ravenous Hydra, which helps him survive fights. We've got a Maw of Malmortius, which helps him survive fights. We've got the Duskblade, which makes him untargetable if he goes ham. And the Conqueror as well. This is actually a surprisingly brawly Zed build. This is not the full burst Zed of yore. This is one that is absolutely down to clown when big fights happen.
Yep, very good against the heavy tank comps, which Anima are going to try to take advantage of. Now just going to walk into Emp, trying to pick up the kill, but now Dr. Chaos with the quickness.
She doesn't even die!
Oh my goodness! Relentless now! Cavalry has arrived, and they're gonna just kidnap the Jax, trying to get him down. The knockback's not gonna knock him over the wall, but he is still in danger. Counter-Strike up again. We'll see if he can make something happen, but Bucci's just doing too much damage. Vince has to run for his life, trying to find a way out, but here comes Amp. Who's gonna be able to get it? It's gonna be Bucci, as now 3 members are down for Anima. Lightside looking for the end of the game. See if they can make it happen. Capstock trying to make something happen. Scatters a weak, not gonna find any stuns. Meanwhile, Ninja does have the chakra, so able to just kill these turrets very easily. First one does fall down. Still trying to find something, but I think now maybe Lightside want to take their exit.
Yeah, a lot of ults were burned. In fact, all of them were burned. Anima now trying to step back out onto the map, do something. Em's got something to say about it, though.
Yep, Dr. Chaos and Ep going right back in. They do have the spell advantage, though, and Anima are trying their best to take advantage of it. Yeah, but Relentless still, it's
never mind.
Back in. Look at this, trying to find the kill. I think maybe that was a bit too aggressive.
Tanky.
No way! Painful still survives on a slither of health. This Zed is absolutely insane.
What do you do when you catch the Zed out and still can't kill him?
I mean, I don't know what you can do. 10
You
and
cry,
4.
you hide, you bolt your door 3 times at night, Takeoff. There is nowhere on this rift that is safe from Painful. And even if you've got your friends, apparently he can just peace out all the same.
I mean, this Zed play has just been fantastic from Painful. Not surprised at all. His #1 champion, showing why it needs to be shown respect. And he just takes the blue buff. This jungle is mine, your base is mine, everything is mine. Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of respect, Painful has absolutely none of it.
Exactly.
Your blue buff? Nah, my blue buff.
They're just gonna siege this top side, just try to put some more pressure on other sides of the map. As we see now, 100 and I think that's 104 stacks.
Really close. 120 is the magic number. I don't know if he's going to hit it in time, honestly. This game might just end before Syndra can fully come online.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate if that was the case. Certainly trying to catch up. We'll see if she can do just that. Lightside now going to take their siege back to the mid lane, try to push in these supers, and just continue to take away resources from Anima, taking their jungle camps, keeping them in their base. Just trying to make this as hard as possible for them to get out of. But still, some nice poke damage from Frost. Takes away maybe 100 HP from him.
And now Lightside can spread out across all of the maps all of the lanes. Just shove in, force Anima to be everywhere at once, and wherever they're not, just get some chip damage, get some poke damage down. You see Nitjit poking away, Bucci being bodyguard, and the inhibitor turret will drop.
Oh, the engage is just beautiful from Lightside. They're trying to find a way out of it, but they just can't. They're too far behind. Lightside just going forward and killing everybody they can. Vince is able to pick up Nitjit, but it doesn't matter. Now 3 members gone for Anima in just 1 for Lightside. They're going to continue this push, trying to make this happen. Bucci just goes in and finds the knockup. Flash being used by Relentless, but they're still able to pick up Frost, and then they pick up Relentless. And that's an ace, and that's the game. Another win for Lightside.
Fantastically played. They had, again, Anima had a pretty decent early game. It started out well. And then the mid game came, and those mistakes started to creep in. They found themselves caught out. Vinze, 0-5 at one point, found himself in rough situation after rough situation and after rough situation, and he didn't seem to learn his lesson. He did a little bit of bounce gaming, did a little bit of side laning, but when it came to the big fight, most notably at the Baron, he was nothing in front of Bushi.
Yeah, it's just, you can be as annoying as you want to in those side lanes, but as you said, when it comes down to that 5v5, you have to be able to match your lane opponent as far as how you influence the fight, and the Cassante was just too huge. And it certainly paid off for Lightside, picking up their 3rd win of the year. And Anima only have 1.
Yeah, 1-9. The numbers... They tell a very dire story, and I still want to look at the light side of Anima because their early game is good. They have shown some initiative to do some slightly interesting things here and there. There is something here. Unfortunately, the trajectory they're on right now is not fast enough, it seems, compared to most of the teams we see here in Div 2. If they can find a good week or a good read on this 13-13 patch, perhaps they have a resurgence towards the end of the split, but it's getting to the point where it is the now or never moment is coming, and they need to be now when that point comes.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is a saying outside of America. I would be surprised if it isn't, but it's time to buckle up those bootstraps, really dig in there, really start getting those wins in. You have to just play perfectly from here on out, not just the next game, but every single game for the rest of the year. You have to get these wins. Not a good start to the season, but we'll see how it goes. Speaking of next games, our next game is going to be coming up in just a moment. It's going to be Carolina versus Invulnerables. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with another exciting game here at NLC Second Division. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Before we get into the next game, we're going to be joined by Accept, the head coach for a light side. Thank you for joining us. I mean, you must be feeling great right now.
Yeah, I mean, always nice to win, right?
Yep, it is always nice to win. We did have a few questions for you. I did have one off the top of my head. I do want to talk about that Zed pick. Obviously, it did kind of seem like the stars aligned. Not only is your mid laner one of the better Zed players in the league, but it did kind of match up as well in the mid lane. Was that a pick that kind of lingered in the back of your mind, or was that more of a spur of the moment, let's make this happen?
I mean, obviously, Painful is pretty solid on Zed, right? I mean, he's played it a lot, so it's always something we keep in mind, right? I mean, we would usually try, to like leave his pick for later, right, if possible. Not every game, of course, but I mean, especially in these kind of games, because he does have these kind of pocket picks in his bag, right? So it's really nice once you can, like, if you can get these Zed angles, for example, or whatever pick it might be.
Yeah, the angles were definitely there. I mean, that's a kill in the later stages of the game. The Zed pick definitely worked out. Brackish Brit, you have any questions yourself?
Home in on the mid game specifically, because from what I've seen of Lightside at least, I equate you with clean, mostly clinical gameplay. And this was a game where that not as well, you were definitely winning all of the fights, and your execution was pretty clinical, but almost felt like the guys were embracing the chaos somewhat of the Anima matchup. We saw fights happening all over. Usually Takeoff would be talking about something, and I'd be like, oh, hang on, someone's died on the other side of the map. Is this just the guys sort of reveling in the matchup that was placed before them, or maybe just having a little bit of fun because it was because of the opponent they faced?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's about the opponent, but rather like kind of. I mean, I think everyone is on like a champ they enjoy a lot, right? I mean, so it's like kind of overhype almost coming into the game. Like you can hear people be like, "Holy shit, I'm hyped," etc. Right? And I mean, obviously, the gameplay reflects on it, right? And especially once it starts going forward and we have like this momentum, it's sometimes hard to like take a breather and slow down, right? Which can be shown, but I mean, it's not even a negative in a sense, right? I mean, as long as we're winning these fights and we feel like, all right, we're fighting over something, right? Which is the important part, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we have a lot of tools to brawl with, right? So, in a sense, like brawling is not bad. Brawling for the brawling's sake, maybe not so good. But if we have a reason to do it, I mean, I'm all for it, and the players are as well.
Yeah, I mean, fighting definitely seemed to be a big upside. That is something that, on the note of talking, about what is kind of on theme with your team, Lightside does seem like one of the better team fighting teams in the league. Even in games where you're kind of struggling from behind, you are still able to get very big, very nice team fights. Is that something that you've kind of noticed is your team's kind of strength? Do you notice anything else that you want to bring up?
I mean, I think, last year, or last split rather, especially, right? I mean, we kept 3 players coming into this split, right? I mean, Chaos, Emp, and Butchie. And I mean, last split, we really had our key strength being that we were better at teams in team fighting, right? If we got to team fights and we weren't behind, we would win like almost every game, right? Unless we were in a really shit position from draft or something, right? So in general, I mean, coming into this split, it's something we kind of expect almost, right? To have an advantage in, being better at team fighting, or like at least having the individual prowess in the team fights, which is something I think we've shown. I mean, I also think that the individual prowess like shows in the early game at times, right? I mean, we're often able to create individual leads, right? Which is obviously great as well.
And I wanted to hone in on that. Obviously, you have the back pocket, shall we say, of, okay, well, we're good at team fighting. Does that mean, no spoilers, obviously, are you working perhaps towards filling out some of the other aspects of the game where you can sometimes just get an early lead, snowball, and win a game before team fighting really comes in? Or are you trying to, or sort of building in mind with your compositions that they're always going to be good in fights later?
I mean, for me, it's not about like playing in this style or that style or so much like that. Obviously, I mean, every team will like rotate towards a style, but for me, it's more about playing the best possible game that we can, right? And if that's like playing through team fights or playing through whatever else, that's completely fine with me, right? And it just depends on the game, right? And I mean, I think being a good team also requires you being adaptable, right? And actually being able to pull off multiple styles and playing like whatever is required from the game for you to play, right? Which is something I think we pull off pretty well. So I mean, for us, it's just about working on whatever we feel like needing to work on in order to play the best game.
Nice. And I did have one more question myself. Pretty simple one. The Amumu pick. We were talking beforehand about how we could potentially see that. We saw it picked in the LEC, and now we're seeing you drafted here. Is that something that not to like leak strats? You know, if you don't want to say, that's fine. But that's something that you think is going to be more of a prominent pick now that kind of the anti-tank junglers have gone out of, I mean, a little bit out of the meta, or is that something that you just thought was good in that draft?
I mean, it's something that, honestly, it's something that Emp wanted to play, and he thinks it's good. So I said, all right, let's go for it, Like, it's not much more than that. I trust the players to make the call in that, as long as they're not completely, like, throwing in a curveball. It's usually good. And, I mean, obviously, I think, there's a lot of picks that can work, like, in different routes, right? It's just about finding the right situation for each pick.
Okay. Do you have any last questions, Brackish?
Honestly, I think I'd be extending an already very good interview. I think we let Accept get back to his team.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. And again, congratulations on your win. Hopefully we'll see some more coming out of you guys in the future.
Yeah, of course. All right. Thanks for having me.
No problem. No problem at all. Thank you for joining us. And with that, we will be right back just very quickly, and then we'll be getting into our next game, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another game here at the NLC2. This one, we have quite the exciting one. It's going to be Carolina versus the Invulnerables. I'm so excited to see this one. I mean, Carolina, second place in the league, and although Invulnerables aren't at that place in the standing, they have competed very well with teams that are high up there.
I'm upset, Takeoff. I have loads of hats, but I don't have a chef's hat.
Oh.
I was going to talk about Invulnerables and their match against Venom Crest. They set their oven too high or something because they overcooked their comp something ridiculous. We saw a jungle rumble, a mid lane kale. Needless to say, it didn't go great for them.
No, you are kind of risking when you are going for the super unorthodox picks like that. But we'll see maybe if we have some more exciting drafts coming out of them. As you said, they were kind of maybe cooking a bit too much, but they have picked up some nice wins. They did pick up a win against 42, so that's always a nice one to get in your pocket. We're going to be getting a draft in just a moment, but I do also, while we're talking about the teams, I do want to talk about Carolina. They have played a lot of their games already early on in the season, and they have been playing phenomenally well, but this will be now a game where they're kind of off of their comfort patch, playing on 13.13, so we'll see how they do.
Obviously, you come into this, game score dictates that Carolina will be the favorites, but this is really, for me, going to be the yardstick for Invulnerables, where we get to figure out where they actually sit in the power rankings, because Carolina, we weren't sure how good they were at the start of the split. It seems like they are the real deal, and Invulnerables, obviously having played so few games, we are somewhat lacking in a actual measurement for them. Beating 42 is a decent feat because they have shown a good degree of success as the weeks have gone on. And of course, their loss to Venom Crest, who are the de facto kings of the division, doesn't really say that much, especially when they were cooking as hard as they were.
Yep, Venom Crest still undefeated. Won't be seeing them today, but still feeling their presence nonetheless. Carolina, I think, did lose a ban. I'm not sure why, but they are going to first pick the Xayah. That's very interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if Invulnerables want to pick away the Rakan, deny the Lovers duo from coming through. Floops, perfectly happy on the Xayah. We saw his Draven get taken away. It seems the response from Invulnerables will be to get a carry of their own. It will be the Aphelios. We have seen so many games with Aphelios, we don't really need... he can fit into pretty much any comp. Nothing is told, actually, at all, from these two picks coming out from Invulnerables. Aphelios is good. Maokai is good. Good stuff.
Yeah, Maokai can go anywhere. He's good. Aphelios is ADC, but he fits with any comp. That's kind of why a lot of people consider him the best ADC. For a long time, I've considered him the best ADC. As you said, can just kind of plug him into any comp, and he works very well. He can pick well. He can, fight front to back well. He can poke well. He does it all. And we talked about whether or not we'd see the Kindred when we first started the broadcast, and immediately gonna see it locked in.
It does get picked up for Bash, so Carolina willing to cook a little bit themselves. I do want to hone in onto the Aphelios for a second, because it is worth reminding myself that Aphelios did get hit a little bit on 13-13. Some of his guns got toned down, the lifesteal from Severum, the slow duration from Gravitum, meaning you can't wait as long before landing the route. And it will be the Ornn locked in to close out first rotation, so big beefy frontliner to go with your carry jungler. Again, just solid drafting all around.
Yep, the scaling is going to certainly be there for the Kindred. It does have the Ornn and the stacks to scale off of. As we see Camille being picked up for Invulnerables, it's always one of my favorite champions to see. Lots of skill expression with her, so we'll see if maybe Ola can get any impressive kills on that one. But second ban phase here. Now that we know, pretty much it's this again, we don't know where the Maokai is going, but assuming that it's Maokai jungle, we kind of have the same, 3 picks here where it's jungle ADC top. So I was going to say might see some mid lane bans, but instead it's going to be targeted towards the support.
So for Calm, taken away. Like we said, the Lovers duo, very, very good. And since Invulnerables seemingly don't want to pick it for themselves, just taking that off the board is nice to see. Of course, there are still some strong picks abound. We saw a LeBlanc ban in Game 1, but it's going to be interesting. I don't think I expect to see that picked or banned again. That just... We talked about it. With the Shiv nerf, it feels like the priority towards LeBlanc has kind of fallen down a hole.
Yeah, probably. I don't even think we'll see her in a draft for like the rest of the year. We'll have to see. Maybe some people still feel comfortable on her and want to play her. She is easier to CS on thanks to the Q changes that they did a long time ago. So she doesn't necessarily need the static Shiv, but we'll see. Maybe people just don't feel comfortable enough on her. We do see the Jace being picked up here for possibly Divine in the mid lane. Hard to tell. Ola does play both Jace and Camille, but I don't think it's gonna be a Camille mid. Like, I haven't seen that in years.
I mean, after we saw the Kale mid last game, anything is possible, right?
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong.
Meanwhile, it's mostly standard. Very much standard. Coming out for the side of Carol and Erna, they get themselves the Ahri. This is, again, like, there's not a huge amount to be inferred aside from, oh, there's a Kindred. That's pretty interesting. Of course, Kindred did get hit with some early game invade nerfs, so she's a little bit easier to punish if you catch her out on the roam. And Braum, I'm a big fan of this one. Accelerated Shock Blast? Nope. A lot of the Aphelios damage? Also nope. However, all the way through to the very end of the draft, the Thresh was gone, so the second best support bearing with this Aphelios gets all the way to the end, and I see no reason why you would pick, or would not pick the Lulu here if you're Invulnerables.
Yep, and it's kind of interesting that they saved the last pick for the support, but we'll see where everyone goes. Probably is going to be the Jace mid. I really hope it's Camille mid, but it's probably just going to be the Jace mid. So.
I mean, there's something to be said about Hextech Ultimatum making it so Spirit Rush can't get Ahri to safety. But no, it makes sense for the Camille to be into the Ornn, although of course the wall dive stun is going to be a bit weaker when you can simply just Bellows Breath to ignore the stun. But it's going to be trying to slash at a gigantic slab of meat that is the Ornn in the top lane. At least in the early stages, I'd expect Ola not to be finding crazy solo kills, not into an Ornn.
Yeah, and something I do want to talk about, we saw this last game, and we're seeing it again, where, you know, I mean, you do have true damage on the side of Invulnerables, especially with the Camille. Late game, her true damage is absolutely insane, but they are kind of very focused on attack damage. Not, I mean, no magic damage carries. You do have the option of AP Maokai, but he's not going to be like that person that's just going to completely carry the game with their magic damage.
This is another situation like we saw in Game 1, that the composition from light side was very, very AD heavy. Although Anima didn't do the best job of counteracting that. However, Carol and Erna, when you've got an Ornn and a Braum, these are champions that like to build armor anyway. So I can expect to see the front line of Carol and Erna be very hard to cut through unless certain items are built. Like, we need to see Lord Dominic's Regards. I mean, we'd see it anyway, but if it were not picked up, then Invulnerables would be quite literally trolling.
Yeah, I mean, that Ornn, like you said, late game is going to be very difficult to kill. I mean, incredibly tanky, especially now that hopefully now that he knows, hopefully, because last time we didn't, as he said, didn't really see the AD focus comp get punished. But hopefully this game we will see it get punished by the Ornn stacking all that armor, and it will be absolutely nuts. I mean, Malphite is like the only other champion I could think that could be better to punish a comp like this.
We'd never actually see a Rammus at this level of play, I don't think.
No,
but
yeah, Rammus also a good option.
Theoretically, in the pie in the sky place called Brackland, I wish I had a land named after me. No, in my headspace, it's a dark and terrible place. Rammus, theoretically, likes building lots and lots of armor. But yeah, we'd never ever see it. unless someone was absolutely insane, we are onto the rift. Take the mic off me before I go too far.
Hey, I mean, I'm all for it. We should be campaigning people to pick Rammus. That pick's fun. You know, you get to go really fast into people, and if you have enough movement speed, you can jump like 30 feet. It's so nuts. I love it, but probably won't ever see that. If I see that get picked, I mean, I would be incredibly surprised. Maybe if the comp calls for it, but this is, I mean, you know, if there were a comp to pick Rammus into, this one wouldn't be bad. I mean, a lot of really good taunt targets. You know, maybe we shouldn't cook that too much.
Let's not entertain this any further. Looking on towards the map, I like how Carolina has set up here. Rather than the full 5-man line of scrimmage, we've got 3 people sat in that brush. We see a little emote coming out from the banana brush behind red buff. 3 members are still sat there. Noda-chan, Floops, and
oh no,
Ash, of course, there. Divine gets caught by the Winter's Bite. Shouldn't be any follow-up to that, though. Just, you know, again, keeping them honest. I'm now going to step in, get some vision, potentially even look to start on Kalen Boss's own blue buff while he's on his chickens.
Yep. I'm not sure if they spotted Caitlyn on the top side of the map, but they are just going to walk in here and take this, though. With Carolyn spotting this out, yeah, they don't get to clear the ward, so they do get to see what Bash is going to do, and unsurprisingly, Caitlyn just going to go for that vertical, so we're going to see the junglers trade off, but we'll see just how much Carlin's going to be able to take, because it does seem like Kindred wants to take the entire bot side jungle. We'll see where that goes.
This is a straight up split map situation. Like, Carolina know where Kalen Boss is. They saw him cross river with that ward in the pixel brush. So they can now just opt in to the cross map. It now means that Chrissy and Marcusa have to play safe. They have to respect a potential aggression coming from Bash towards this bot side. Flips and Noda-chan are actually going to chill a little bit, let themselves get level 2 slower, because that could potentially find an angle. We see it now. Bash coming towards the bot lane. Now Chrissy and Marcusa have realized their potential peril.
Yep, they're just playing this one incredibly safe, not giving Bash any opportunity to walk up. Yeah, it does seem like Carolina were trying to like set up the slow push, give the Kindred a bit of space again, but it's just not there, so she's going to go right up to the red buff, and Kalen Boss does take all 3 camps. Yeah, like you said, just standard vertical jungling, nothing too exciting. But like you said, does give a lot of pressure on this bot side with an already weakish lane. We'll see. Bash visiting again, really wants to make this gank happen.
I mean, trying to knock the Aphelios down a little bit in the early game is never a bad thing, but it does mean that Bash is falling behind on CS. They're going forward.
Yeah, trying to find it. Do find the stun, but it is just perfectly cleansed. Yeah.
Yep. And now Bash is falling behind more and more. Kalen Boss has gone back to his own top side. He's cleared out the red buff. Actually seems to not be going for Krugs. I wonder...
Oh, going for the Kindred mark, yeah.
Deny the mark. Yeah, deny the mark. Unfortunately, Bash rolled tails another time by the mark spawning on the top side scuttle. It does mean it's going to be a little bit slower on that scaling up.
Yeah, you know, I always win the coin toss whenever I play Kindred. It feels so good. I always feel bad whenever I see people lose it. Unfortunately, Bash is a victim of that, so not going to be able to get that first mark quite yet.
Don't become a statistic. Just get better dice, I guess.
Exactly. Just rig the dice in your favor. Come on, there's got to be a way. I wonder... No, I don't think there's any way to predict it. I think it's just random, right?
It is, in fact, a straight 50-50.
Which, it's so weird, because for me, it always spawns on the bottom side. So I always clear top to bot, and then it's just always there waiting for me. But, unfortunately, Bash did not get to experience that. Still hovering this bot side, really wants to make this happen. Maybe the snare coming through will encourage something. Nodu-chan going up, just throws out the Wondrous Breath just to remind Aphelios that his Q does hurt a little bit.
Yeah, Wondrous Bite. Again, just keep them on their toes. There isn't a cleanse available for Chrissy here. If he takes one too many stack, maybe forced to burn that flash, and then Bash's continual attention bot side may actually pay off.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it in the pregame, but this is one of my favorite matchups to see, is the Orin Camille, just because there's kind of the mini game between the the hook shot and the bellows breath, which it's like you just gotta try to kind of see if the Ornn's gonna use the W, and then or just try to catch him off guard before you can even think about using it. As we see a pause here, should be getting back in a moment though. Hopefully, it won't be too long. As
this is the most gentlemanly, chill early game I think I have seen in a while. And as I said, gentlemanly. As a Brit, I appreciate that immensely. Everybody's just farming up. Everyone's having a good time. We'll wait until one team wants to go for a Drake or maybe look for the Herald until we get this first fight going on. Although all TPs are down. All bets are off. Obviously, they're waiting for that 10-minute mark for the new Unleashed TP to come through. And then all hell will break loose on the Rift.
Yeah, and I did want to talk about that actually. With the TPs all being down, maybe we'll see some more activity from Kindred in the solo lanes, trying to find some ganks there. Really does open up the opportunity for both the junglers, and we'll see if either of them want to take advantage. As I think, yeah, it is a Cloud Dragon at the moment, so not the most exciting Drake to fight over. So hopefully won't see any flip fights over that one, which is good for the teams, but unfortunate for us.
Yeah, a little bit less spice perhaps to come through this early game, but just like British cooking, spice is optional.
That's a good one. Just gonna continue to push out this mid lane. Nothing really, as you said, a whole lot exciting going on, but we are seeing a bit of activity on the bottom side. They do spot out Kalem boss.
Oh my word, he cleared a ward.
Oh my goodness.
This is so intense. Oh, by the way, actually, I want to harken back. I'm allowed to make fun of British cooking because I am British. All right.
I think anyone's allowed to make fun of British cooking.
No.
Listen. Well, actually, speaking of cooking, K5 are cooking something in the mid lane, but unfortunately could not find anything. No flash either from the Jace. Just gonna hammer time out of there. As now Invulnerable gonna be taking Dragon. Cloud, as I said, not that exciting, but Mountain will be kind of interesting to see if either team wants to prioritize this. They both have, champions that love that little bit of extra resistance, especially on the side of Carolina, as we talked about earlier, really lacking in magic damage. So, I mean, as far as invulnerables go, so that Mountain would do very well in their pocket. But unfortunately, yep, gotta find the easy kill on the Emperor.
I mean, he said "hola." Actually, no, wait. What's
he said? Adios.
Spanish. Adios.
Yeah,
the Emperor very much dethroned. However, Bloom is also possibly looking like he's gonna wither. Kalem boss claiming it back. That's 2 kills for invulnerables. They're coming to life.
Yep, and Emperor did get, if I had $1 for every time, I'd die that exact same way, where I think the top laner's recalled, so I agreed for the wave, and then I died.
$2?
I'd have a lot of money.
Okay.
I would probably, I'd be potentially a millionaire, but,
The Doofenshmirtz meme is too heavily embedded in my brain space. Bash is going to return to the cross map or split map situation jungling, trying to take away a second blue buff from Kalem boss's side of the jungle, and things settle a little bit. So, but that passive of play, very, very good for invulnerables. Drake gets secured, 2 kills get secured, and they get themselves a nice little buffer of 800 gold in the early game.
And now Bash. Oh, that's so unlucky. The Mark spawns where he just recalled from. Oh, you hate to see it.
Has he got any stacks right now, actually?
I don't think he does. They have no kills.
1.
1 stack. Oh, so he's gotten 1 stack. Okay.
He's on.
We're scaling.
Yep. We're gonna get there. Carolina looking towards the first Rift Herald. Yes, this is Shelly, and then her sister Shirley spawns in later.
Yep, and, I don't remember who it was, but someone was talking about playing... Oh, actually, I'm going to pause that point, because look at this, and Vulnerable are planning a dive. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do on the Xayah, who does have the ultimate available flash as well, going to be able to get away, but still, key abilities being burned.
The big thing about a Rift Herald is that you want to go even on the map. Invulnerables are completely throw that out the window. Floops forced to flash, forced to ult, forced all the way off the wave, and they lose 2 plates for it into the back pocket of the Invulnerables bot lane.
Yeah, but now Carolina are starting to wonder. Oh, actually, they're going to go for the Mark. They were picking the bot lane, but they want to go all in on this Mark. We're going to see them fight over Gromp. Oh my goodness, this is going to be chaotic because both teams have the exact same mentality. They both really want to play for these Marks, but they don't want to risk it. Understandably so, just back off. They could have. I was gonna say earlier that they kind of play around the Mark, not necessarily for the Mark. They went for the Herald when the Mark came up on the bot side, and it worked out. But they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. Didn't work out, but still a Herald in their pocket for later use.
Absolutely, Bash will need to get some value out of it, of course. Try and make back some of this gold deficit on the map. We approached the 10-minute mark. We'll do a quick glance. I think production knows what I was going to ask before I even do it. Look at this guy. Big advantage for allowing the top lane. First blood plus a 15 CS advantage. That's exactly where we expect to be. And if he keeps this sort of trajectory, then we might find Emperor might find himself in a bit of trouble. Although Divine goes forward.
Oh, the charm hits the cannon minion. It's absolutely tragic. As now Divine gonna get a bit of a get out of jail free card for that one, and it's so unfortunate too that Kindred Mark just coming up on the Raptors. I don't think they'll be able to contest it, especially now with Spirit Rush being down. I think they just have to give it over. But look, Bash still going forward for it anyway. I wonder if he got it. Speaking of, Divine knows that there's no Spirit Rush, goes in for the kill. Meanwhile, Bash now chasing the Mark and is going to get it 1-for-1, maybe even a bit more worth it for Bash.
Double check. I'm not sure if Bash actually got the chicken mark as well. Floops gonna get his back interrupted because he can't really do much more about it.
I think it should be 2 marks. Yeah, no, just okay. So didn't get the Raptors one, unfortunately, but still 2 marks. We are scaling. It's just it's taking a little bit of time. Looks like that the Kindred is going for the Trinity Wits End build that I pretty much see on any good Kindred. So that's always a good sign.
Pretty solid. Invulnerables looking to leverage that the advantage they have towards the bot side, but Carolina do not want to give this one across, it seems. But they've got to watch out. Kellenboss does have Nature's Grasp available. Here's a TP coming through as well.
Yeah, TP's used by both laners, trying to flank both sides. Here comes the Horn. It goes through, knocks up 2, but look at this. Kindred in a very bad spot. Bash trying to use that Lamb's Spike to get out, and actually they will! What a nice flash! Look at the Aphelios! Goes in with the flamethrower to pick up kills, and Divine able to clean them up. Now trying to find Emperor on the side, who has to flash away to take the blast cone. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of your screen, saying adios to even more members as they're picking up so many kills in this fight. 4 for none, and they're gonna get this dragon to boot.
Invulnerables looking exactly that. Nobody drops. They find 3 kills and a dragon to boot takeoff. And this gold lead is certainly taking off. We need to see this again. Look at this TP from Holo. I thought he was so dead as he comes in. Good, decent damage from the Midnight Vigils. Not scaled up quite just yet. The charm from Bloom was great onto Holo as well. He couldn't get the wall dive. The damage is just there. Emperor does a little bit of work disrupting, but there was no follow-up. And look, he's just impotently following behind the members of Invulnerables as they wipe his team up. Marcusa as well, very clutch with the giant growth here, wild growth. That is a fraction of a hit point there. However, it's enough. Floops goes down, Bash as well. And this is looking incredibly good for Invulnerables right now.
Yeah, bit of a fight breaking out here, though. Bash might be in some trouble, doesn't have any backup, and will go down. Divine coming up to try to find Bloom, but it does seem like they're just going to back off, try to stop this Herald charge. That does go through already, but I mean, yeah, I don't normally say that Lulu played that very well, but I mean, that Lulu played that very well. It was a great play.
Incredibly skilled R press from Marcusa there.
Yes. But hey, listen, but also the double Q also landed. That was some nice damage. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, 13.5 minutes on the board. I wanted to just remind ourselves of the situation. 8-1 for Invulnerables right now. They are 3.5k to the good. 2 Drakes in pocket. Carolina, across the map, they have good scaling. They've got the Kindred. They've got the Ornaments. But when you're in a situation that the Ornaments are simply recouping a deficit, you're obviously not getting in all of what you would want out of them. Carolina maybe going to look for Chrissy here. Glacial Fissure doesn't land though.
Unfortunately, a little bit short. They're going to try to get their way out now, but that is a good amount of poke damage coming in from the very annoying Sniper Chakram combo. As going to even throw out the Sniper Ultimate to get some more poke. That's a lot of damage. Unfortunately, couldn't find that last shot, but look at this. Yeah, Kalen Boss on the side here, just zoning them away. Did walk over a ward, tried to rush in before they could react, but no dice. They're just going to take the turret and walk away. But meanwhile, in the mid lane here, might find to pick up their own, and they do. That's going to be Balloon picking up the shutdown. That's very big for the Ahri.
Yeah, great to get the shutdown onto him as well. That's effectively doubling the gold from that kill, and much needed. We see the Everfrost picked up already. I will not utter the name of Nightmare. Never mind, I already did it. Somebody would be displeased with that pickup. He once referred to Everfrost as the great enemy. And I don't entirely blame him. Although, in this composition, it kind of makes more sense. Ahri does not need to be the main damage dealer when you've got both the Xayah and the Kindred available to fulfill that role.
Yep, and I'll just going to be pushing this one in. This is a bit of an interesting map state. It does kind of feel like they're just playing... Oh, actually... I'm going to pause my point, because look at this. They're trying to get this mark. Another one for the Kindred. I don't think they have people to contest it. I think this is just, going to go over the 4th mark now. That's like the magic point.
The crucial. Yeah,
no,
this is the point where Kindred is considered online. Like, marks after this are really nice, but it's the 4th one that is the most important to get. You get the extra range, you get the extra attack speed from Dance of Arrows. This is, Kindred is now officially fully a champion.
Yep, and it's a lot easier to snowball off of marks once you have that first 4, so... I mean, just feels great now for the Kindred. We'll see if they can play around that, but look at this. Herald being used in the mid lane, trying to open up the map some more, but Carolina coming up on the side, trying to find a pick on the ADC, brought very low, but the defense is so good from the Lulu. They now might be in some trouble. Bash trying to use a Lamb's Respite to survive, but it's just not going to do enough now, and Vulnerable's just going to clean this one up. Balloon getting ulted on top of. You can't go anywhere, my friend. And now it's 3 kills. 2 of them going over to the Jace. They're trying to keep chasing, but look at Emperor on the side here, trying to make something happen. Ola just not letting anything happen, though. I mean, the Ornn is doing a lot of work here, though. Emperor trying to find the kill on the Caitlyn Possible, won't be able to do so. Might be the ace kill, but is able to get away, but still 4 for none for Invulnerables.
He is so tanky that at this point, killing him before... Aphelios has not picked up the Lord Dominic's yet. He has not paid the killing Ornn tax. However, that is another one team fight for Invulnerables. And again, the setup looked solid for Carol and Erna, but Invulnerables just had the number, it would seem. The red buff is currently hunted by Bash, but... the current situation Kyle and Erna now find themselves in, nearly 7,000 gold down at 17 minutes. Stepping into the enemy jungle is a risky proposition.
Yeah, Kindred is taking the Hex Gate over, but we're going to look at the bot side real quick, because Bloom and Ola are fighting it out. Oh, actually, I think Bash got the mark. Nope,
he did.
Oh, no, he's still a 4.
Oh, nope, it's Chrissy. I mean, fair play to him for having the balls to do that. I personally would be a little bit more worried about it, but perhaps that's the reason why I'm a gold level jungler. Meanwhile, just gonna play. Interesting to say, Kindred is playing bodyguard for Emperor here. Kind of is, just making sure that the Ornn can get those hits onto the tower. Meanwhile, Hola might be in some trouble.
I mean, that's as dead as they come. You can't really do a whole lot there, but now look at this. The answer from Invulnerable's bot lane, already getting 1 kill and not going to be able to find any more, but still 1 for 1. The dragon is being taken as well. It is a Hextech dragon, despite the symbol in the top left saying mountain. It's just lying to you, right? It's trying to trick you. Yeah, I mean, maybe one day it will work. I wouldn't count on it, though, as Bloom going to be able to find a nice pick here. Potentially does have the lockdown, but just no follow-up available for Bash. And it is just going to be for nothing. But it looked pretty good. And
concerning. Roller goes down. Shutdown did go across, but the price to be paid for that was the fact that Invulnerables picked up their soul point before 19 minutes. So 24 minutes is roughly the time we could see a soul come out for Invulnerables. Now, Carol and Erna, they have a comp that does fine in the super late game, so there may be an angle for them to just let this 4th Drake go. Mountain Soul would hurt, but potentially let that Drake go, wait the extra 6 minutes, scale up a bit more, get their Kindred a bit bigger, and then look to go for the good old Borga flip on the Elder Drake.
Now, Invulnerables just trying to get more gold in their pocket, which, you know, they do have scaling of their own with the Aphelios and the Camille, but you wonder if maybe they want to apply a bit more pressure with, as you said, the Ornn, kind of a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to allude to, so thank you for the setup. It's for Invulnerables, they obviously do not want this to happen for Carol and Erna, so they need to shove out waves, keep Carol and Erna in their base, be able to set up vision, and of course, now that 20 minutes has passed, they now have the big old bluff card of, there's a Baron here, we can take it, what are you going to do about it?
And unsurprisingly, we see both teams starting to play the vision game. Mark, unfortunately, is just going to be picked up by the Aphelios here. But look at this. As I said, they're playing around the marks, and they're trying to do that here, picking up the Baron while the mark's on the other side of the map. But Camille does have the teleport. Aphelios is abandoning the idea of taking it, and they're going to just walk away, starting to see that. But look, it might be too late. Hold on, put it from behind.
Watch out!
It's right in there. Trying to survive. Floops is in the... Actually, let's going to make that pretty easy, but it's going to go down now, and it might just go disastrous. But look at this! A lot of damage being dished out, but it's just not enough from Carolina. Trying to make it happen, though. Flash forward from Bloom is not going to find the mark. It was a good effort, though, but still... I mean, 3 for none and Vulnerable are just wiping every team fight. I don't know if they can do the Baron with as low as they are, but maybe. I mean, they're trying. I think they can, actually. Looks like they can.
Should be there, although Nodishan coming through, the only person who can really threaten right now. There was the vague hope, perhaps, of getting a Winter's Bite steal. Divine will make him suffer judgment, get himself to a rampage, and it's going from bad to worse for Carolina here. 3 kills to 17. They are nearly 10,000 gold now in the hole. And note that in some game situations, I will say, when a team is behind, do something unexpected. Note that I did not say that this game. Carolina could have just chilled and potentially looked to punish when Invulnerable started the Baron. Instead, they start the Baron up themselves and let themselves be the ones to be punished.
Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like a good idea at first, but I just don't think they had the vision to really pull the trigger on a play like that. Oh my goodness, my God, ended up being such a clean play from Nodu-chan, but not going to be able to entirely punish them. Actually, they might be the ones being punished. Bloom brought very low. Unfortunately, Divine not able to find that EQ on to the Ahri, so they just back off for now. But yeah, they're pushing this mid lane, pushing the top side, excuse me, and just taking away resources in the jungle. We saw this last game. We're seeing it again. I mean, you know, Carolina do want to get those levels onto the Ornn and the Kindred alike, but it's just so hard to do when all these resources are being denied from you.
Worth noting, Emperor, level 12 right now, doesn't even have his own mythic upgraded yet. He is still quite a ways away from being able to upgrade his teammates' mythics. And with the way the game is going, if Invulnerables can keep it clinical, keep it clean, they can look to close out this game, possibly before any of the ornaments get handed out.
Yep, and I mean, it's looking pretty dire for Carolina right now, which really shows, you know, actually, I'm gonna plus that. Ola might be in some trouble. They're chasing really far for this, and they are gonna get it. But look at the bottom side of the map. They're just gonna continue to push this one in, probably be able to take an inhibitor turret, maybe the inhibitor, and they are rotating. No, they are just gonna take the turret and leave. But yeah, you know, you do get the member, but now your inhibitor wide open.
Soul is on the table, though. Invulnerables now peeling back, but they are at a numbers disadvantage. Hola, when he comes back up, will not have the TP. It should be up soon, so Invulnerables need to dance. They need to set this one up. I don't think they should be looking to claim it right now, and they just keep it leash. Carolina, though, now going to step in. It's going to be basically a flash deal from Kellenboss that does it or nothing at all.
Yeah, they need to be able to steal this one
Oh
away.
my
which actually
God.
could be the Philios
No.
that steals it and gets a kill. Actually, the kill does go over to Divine, but still able to help get a
And
kill
there he
now.
is.
Ola, yep, teleporting in from behind. Double kill, triple kill for the Aphelios. Bloom's gonna run for the hills, and Invulnerable are just gonna run to end the game through the bot side. I mean, it was just such a great setup from them, despite being 4v5, able to steal the dragon away. Bloom, just kind of being a distraction here, but it's not really going to matter. 12 seconds, well now 10 on Emperor and Bash. Nodu-chan, also 10 seconds on him now. But it does seem like Carolina are just gonna fall down here. There's just no chance to stop the siege. That's gonna be a win for Invulnerables against a very big opponent. You said this was a measuring stick game. They've passed the test with flying colors.
Yeah. Invulnerables, an absolutely fantastic performance from them. They demolish Carolina, who have been looking so good for the majority of the split thus far. And in every respect, it feels like they outdid Carolina. From the first minute to the last, they seem to have their number, have their just have superior positioning in those fights. One thing we have said and noticed in the past, Carolina's macro can sometimes be a little dicey, but generally their team fighting has been on point. Unfortunately for them, they fell into so much of a deficit that their team fighting didn't matter. They got smacked with the wallets of Invulnerables this game.
I mean, yeah, it did kind of just feel like at one point they were just stat checking them and it was just working. And, I'm sitting here, ready to try to remember the Ornn item names, and they didn't even get to that point. Absolutely no Ornn items for the side of Carolina. And it was just, that was like their big condition was, okay, sure, we can lose the early game if we're able to scale through the Kindred marks and through the Ornn items. They kind of got to that sweet spot for marks, but didn't get beyond that. And no Ornn items. I mean, it just, their win conditions were not met.
And then Divine shows up, Jace, hammer over shoulder, eyes glowing, goes, I'm going to stop you right there. Allow us to introduce ourselves. That scaling doesn't matter if you can't live long enough for it to come into effect. Invulnerables, they knock Carolina down before their scaling can come into effect. And yeah, this pushes Invulnerables up the tier list considerably. I'm very much looking forward to them playing against Venomcrest again later in the split, perhaps with slightly less, burnt edges on the comp. And especially against MRG, which is a team, we won't see them for a couple of weeks. They're currently on break. We've seen some very good things and some slightly dicey things from MRG, but on their good day, I think that would be another very, very good matchup to watch.
And speaking of good matchups, we got a spicy one coming up next. It's going to be Espargata Esports. They're going to be taking on Blue Whites. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a quick break, and then we'll be right back with our last game of the day. Please stay tuned. This one's going to be just as much of a banger as the last two. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Before we get into our last game, we have another quick interview, this time with Kalen Boss. Welcome aboard. You had a fantastic showing on the Maokai, which is why we've put that wonderful graphic up for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a pretty good game, I think.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about specifically the matchup of Maokai Kindred. You played it phenomenally well. You know, you didn't have as much information to work with as Carolina did, but it felt like you were still just tracking the Kindred so well the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, we saw her on the first levels that she's invading my blue, so I just went for an invade, and I got all her blue side. And then, yeah, I just cleared my camps all the time, and yeah, she couldn't do much without her stacks. We played really well around that, so yeah.
The stacks were certainly very delayed. It took quite a while for him to reach fourth. Did he actually reach? You know what? There's no way production will be able to tell me. I don't think.
Yeah, it was
it
4
didn't
stacks.
reach 8 stacks that game. So yeah, the shutting down of the Kindred did seem to be pretty successful. I want to zone in towards the top side of the map actually, because Camille, not something we've seen a huge amount of for a while. Was that just a kind of a vibing pick coming out for the top lane, or was it just you saw Ornn and was like, you know what, this used to be good against Ornn, so it's probably still good against Ornn?
Yeah, actually, our top laner plays mostly a carry pick, so his main pick Fiora was banned. So he just picked his second most played AD pick, Camille. Yeah, he just stomped the lane as usual.
As usual, yeah, that seems to be something that your team does very well, playing the early lanes. I mean, perfectly to a T. It seemed like every lane was winning. Must have, you know, not an easy day for you, but easier than normal.
I would say easier than normal, to be honest. At scrims, sometimes we can even lose every scrim one day, but today it was like, yeah, it happens sometimes, but today it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
So we've not seen all that much of you this split. This is now your third game. Obviously, that puts you 2-1. A loss versus Venom Crest. Actually, I don't know. I don't think we had an interview with you. Can you tell me what on earth was going on with that Venom Crest comp quickly?
I don't really remember the comp. What did they pick?
Rumble Kale.
Oh yeah. Actually, our mid laner just called to pick Kale in the last few seconds of his time to pick, and
it's Clash
we're we're all confused about that pick, and we just trust him. I don't think it will happen again, but yeah.
The Rumble Jungle, though, are we gonna maybe see that come out again, or is that one's tossed out?
I mean, I can say that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe people
if I say anything,
will.
I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if I say anything, he'll be fired. Classic quote. But it was a very good showing today, as opposed to last time. I mean, you guys played phenomenally well. I do want to ask though about the draft. It did kind of seem like you guys were lacking in like the solid, reliable magic damage. So there was a lot of responsibility on you. Well, I mean, there would have been if you guys didn't just completely dominate the game. But was that at all a worry going into the later parts of the game, or like maybe we could kind of get the script flipped on us because we don't have that reliable AP?
I mean, we didn't really think about the AP damage. We mostly care about split pushers that can just end the game while we are holding the rest of the enemy team on the mid lane. So we just let Ola cook on top lane or bot lane and just push the entire base of the enemies.
Worked out fantastically for you, and obviously I'm looking forwards. We've got one more game of you this week against Anima on Sunday. Obviously, we'll look forward to seeing that, I assume, on Invulnerable's own channel. But besides that, looking forwards, you've got a lot of matches coming up, obviously. Is there a particular team you're really looking forward to playing against?
I think not really. We really want to, for sure, get a revenge on the Venom Crest team. And next time it won't be that easy match for them. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Next time, no Kale mid against Venom Crest maybe will be the key to success, but we'll have to see when it comes along. Thank you so much for joining us. I didn't have any questions, Brackish. Did you have any left that you wanted to throw out? No?
Oh,
yeah, actually,
that's
yeah.
a good
Do
one.
you have any?
Thank you, production.
Yeah. Throwing out a very good question. What is your prediction for this next upcoming game?
I mean, we're gonna win. It's obvious, I think.
Oh, sorry. The next game on stream, sorry. Espagard
Yeah.
versus Blue Whites. Who will win that game?
Oh, okay. Oh. I think Blue Whites, to be honest.
Blue Whites? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that prediction. But thanks for joining
I'll
us
check
so
back.
much. Yeah, I'll check. I'm totally going to check back with you on that one. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by. We'll go ahead and let you go so you can just bask and enjoy that victory with your team. Thanks so much. And once again, congratulations on the big win today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the invite, for the interview. It's really nice to talk with you guys.
Always a pleasure.
Not a problem at all. Always a pleasure talking with you. And thanks again for coming by. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a very brief break, and then we'll be right back with the last game of the day. It's going to be an exciting one. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for joining us for the last game of the day. We're going to see Espagard take on Blue White. It's going to be a very exciting one, especially for Espagard. We haven't really gotten to see them, in their fullest. The times that they have lost, they've lost to our top teams, or they've forfeited, unfortunately. And so we haven't really gotten to see them against any solid teams, but Blue White is definitely going to be an interesting matchup for them.
Absolutely. And to be fair, of all the teams to get an FF against, Venom Prest is probably one you don't care about too much. But absolutely, I'm looking forward to seeing Espagard at their full peak of power. Right now, of course, there's not much separating these teams. 2 and 3 versus 2 and 5 doesn't tell us a whole lot. Obviously, Espagard's next 2 games will perhaps tell us a little bit more. But Blue Whites, from what I've seen, are a team of high highs, but they do have a couple of exploitable weaknesses. They've picked up a couple of wins, most notably the one against Carolyn Erna, where the game was sort of handed to them. So they're good at punishing mistakes, but sometimes they do make errors that their opponents can also punish quite heavily. So it's on them to tighten up their gameplay a little bit more if they don't want to see Espigada flying up the standings away from them.
Yep, and they actually were the very first game of the year to kick off the split. They actually this exact matchup, I want to say, Espigada versus Blue Whites. Espigada did pick up the win then. I'm curious to see, do you think that maybe Blue Whites are going to be able to flip the script this time? Or do you think maybe Espigada are kind of a bigger favorite going into this one?
I mean, they've already won the first game, so that puts them a little bit above, but time for Blue Whites to show Espigada how much they've grown, how much they've picked up from their games, how much they've learned from their losses. Obviously, they say that defeat can teach you so much more than victory. It's on Blue Whites, obviously, on their coaching staff to, drag every little bit of value out of the losses they have suffered. And while we should obviously set the expectation Espigada are favoured, they're not that much higher than Blue Whites in the standings, both only at 2 wins right now. So while it is a slight edge to Espigada, this is pretty much anyone's game.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those interesting matchups where it could go to either side, even though, as we said, Espigada did pick up that win, so they are a bit favored, but you never know. Especially with Blue Whites, they kind of can, as you said, they were kind of handed the win against Carolina, but they do have some impressive wins in their pocket. Not entirely impressive, but still some very good wins, and they've shown that they have the capability to win these games, and we'll see maybe we can win the one today. I do want to talk already, though. No Nico ban so far.
Don't be so short with the Maokai. I like that, actually. We've seen 2 games of the Maokai. Taking it off the board could be an interesting idea. Either that, or Blue Whites just have something against plant life. Seeing a Vi ban after her nerf is potentially quite telling. It may just be a case that Gobas is a big player of that. And of course, Tristana has been growing in popularity, was mostly on the 1311 patch. This is something else that has been growing in popularity of late. Ashe was really, really strong, but mostly in support role, got nerfed to the point where nobody played her anymore, and now it's nice to see her coming back. There is a sort of slightly different form of, I don't want to say build, because it's a leveling order. If you want to go hyper aggressive in your lane, maxing Q first gives you way more damage in a fight than maxing the volley first. And of course, the amount of damage it does scaling has been turned down a touch. I saw the Nunu and was instantly excited because Boris has played a lot of that. I don't expect to see it picked at least this early in a draft.
Yeah, probably just gonna go safe. Never mind. Not even gonna go with the jungle pick. Gonna go with the Xayah to counteract the Ashe. Yeah, Ashe ADC kind of has come into popularity. They nerfed her. I mean, not nerfed her. Sorry, buffed her in the ADC role specifically like twice in a row. I think maybe 3 times. Can't quite remember, but yeah, she's been given a lot of love in the sense of her being played as an ADC as opposed to a support. So now she's really prominent in that role and gonna look to make some work happen, as we see now Gragas being picked up, and that could go really anywhere, mid, top, jungle, sometimes support, but I would not expect to see that paired with the Ashe.
There is still the potential of flexing Ashe to support if there is a matchup that they deem not unplayable, but heavily unfavorable. Of course, MKR on the Xayah is going to be able to avoid pretty much every enchanted crystal arrow under the sun because, well, yeah, Featherstorm exists. However, of course, if you combine that with other CC, like the many different things that Gragas can do, then you can obviously look for combinations there. We see another Jace picked up. Malphite is currently being considered. I like it as a potential response into these 2 AD heavy picks coming out from Espigada, but that does leave a potential option for them just to give the Gragas to Elijah, and that'll be a more than comfortable matchup for the Gragas.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Malphite is pretty much just going to lock in the Gragas top. I mean, that matchup is so good for Gragas, so gonna be really difficult for my Cash to play that one out. But Malphite is one of those champions where you're like fine with losing lane just because you come out of it always just as this big beefy front line.
2-1. Yeah, you can go as far down as you like. As long as you can land the 3-man ult when it matters, then you're going to have value for your team. I don't imagine my Cash wants to fall to that point. And of course, if he finds a couple of kills, he can become an absolute terror, become nigh unkillable if he stacks enough armor. Into the second phase of bans, Silas gets taken away. No surprise, we don't want to see any Silas shuffles or the stolen unstoppable forces flipping the script in team fights. And of course, the Lovers Duo, again, being denied away. One half gets picked, the other gets banned.
Olaf gonna be the last ban for Blue Whites. Our last ban of the day will be Nautilus, another support that loves to be paired with the Xayah. So gonna be interesting to see what direction Blue Light go here. I expect them to pick the support here. Hopefully not another Red 5 support pick. Oh, no, it's got... Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna say Warwick.
Wait for the lock-in.
Oh, Lee Sin, please, don't be pranking me here. Please, go back to the Lee Sin, please.
Prank him, John, it's the J4.
Well, I mean, it's a good pick. Yeah, I was really worried when I saw the Warwick. I'm really glad I didn't lock that in. That would have been that would have been not a good pick. But Soraka would actually be a very interesting pick. But if they do lock that in, I'm very worried about their front line. Well, never mind. Not even gonna. They're just pranking us non-stop with these others.
The Gragas can build to be pretty damn tanky, and I mean, naturally is, of course, with the damage reduction from his W. Will be the Thresh locked in. We have one more pick yet to be seen from Espagada. That will tell us, of course, the full extent of the comp. We're currently expecting the Gragas to go top, as we said, with the Malphite matchup. So we're still looking for a jungler here. We know about the Jarvan. There is the potential of a Poppy or something like that, but no, Jax makes more sense, and that will now, of course, move the Gragas into the jungle. And we're not going to talk about the hovers, because we've been baited by the hovers before. We are not seeing a Bard. It's not going to happen.
I don't even... Oh, well, there's something. Blitzcrank.
Okay. I love this. So this is a fantastic answer, because the wind-up on the hook for Thresh takes so long that you lock yourself in position while you charge it up and while you throw it. Blitzcrank goes, I bet my hook has like half the setup time, is going to pull you out of your own hook under my tower or into my friends, and you are going to be in a bad situation, Sonny Jim.
Yep, and the Blitzcrank here does kind of fit in also with the idea of wanting to play aggressive early with the Xayah. Jarvan could look to 3-camp bot, so lots of playmaking potential there. We'll have to see what Blue Light wants to do with it, but I mean, this is still not a bad-looking draft for Espargard.
It's a very, like, both teams have perfectly serviceable drafts. There are no draft sins that I see coming out here. I am perfectly okay with both. We have to have eyes on Boltox this game, though, because if Krelix keeps getting baited into throwing a hook, getting hooked himself, dying over and over, then things are going to start to look a little bit rough for Espagada. If that doesn't happen, they can, keep the Blitzcrank on vision, keep him honest, then they could potentially lessen the amount of value he can have. But again, in team fights, you can also just press static field, and not being able to press your buttons for a little while is, pretty rough.
Yeah, and something that's interesting about these comps when I look at them, they both kind of have the same 3 ideas, which is pick, engage, and disengage, and like all of them have really great tools for all of this. So this is going to be a very interesting comp to see play out, because that's kind of just going to be a game of like who's going to be cut out more, who's going to play the team fights better, and those are like my favorite comps to see executed.
Yeah, neither composition on paper, to me at least, has a clear edge, which, as you say, means that it's all on the hands, all on the brains of the players for these two teams. Espagada, of course, came out on top when they played in week 1. It's time for Blue Whites to show how much they have stepped up in these past few weeks.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see if there's any comp that you want to show how much your team has improved. It is this exact comp, this exact scenario where it's the skill-based matchups. You know, 5v5 skill-based. Some of these are definitely, you know, not the greatest matchups, but still will be interesting to see how the mid to late game plays out. Really excited for that one. Our first dragon of the day. I can't quite see, but I believe that was maybe Hextech. They are stacking for the Blitzcrank invade, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen a Blitzcrank not invade or not try to find the hook.
Yeah,
there's the Hextech.
It's so expected that when it doesn't happen, it's a complete sucker punch, apparently. In the meantime, Blue-Whites are able to get a ward on the top side of Espagada, which means that they can rule out, or of course, if Stefan goes that way, which does seem to be the case, they know where the opposing number of Bobos is starting, so you can look to find invades if you're able to get roams off in the early stages, or just having confirmation is really nice for peace of mind. We know the Gragas is going away from top lane. myCash knows he can play a little bit more greedily without risk of a fat man showing up and ruining his day.
Yep. Real quick, while we have downtime, I do want to give a very big shout out to Cal, our observer, is just absolutely smurfing today. Doing a great job. As always, yeah. Just fantastic all around. And speaking of fantastic, this mid lane matchup already going fantastic for the Jace. Has some nice poke in already. Top lane, Elijah gonna find that stun. We've seen a lot of Grasp Jacks today. It's the second one.
Worth noting. Oh, hello, Bobos.
Oh, wait.
Why is the jump? He walks in and steals the Gromp. Stefan's going to be on the run. That's so rude.
that is so incredibly rude. Just EQ, bonk, it's mine. And just walks away. And all the Gragas can do is just cry. And now he's going to starve. Look at him. Just completely malnourished.
Yes, while he devours the chicken camp.
Yeah.
Nah, he's still going to be eaten okay. He's a little, pride hurt a little bit maybe, but that shouldn't affect him too much.
Yeah, that definitely is, just a bit of an ego ache there. Just kind of hurts your pride. But still, as you said, the Gragas definitely not going to suffer too much from that, but it's still nice for Bobos to be able to pick that up. Like I said, I called it earlier. I thought there was going to be like a three camp bot gank, but he's dedicating to the full clear here, it seems.
Interesting. Jarvan can full clear, obviously, but we want to see him doing stuff realistically before the level 6. If you're not ganking on the Jarvan, you are missing out on one of the very best parts of that champion.
Yeah, the EQ ganks are just so good. Might look to visit... Well, I was going to say might look to visit bot side, but not really a gank angle there. Can't really gank anywhere. I mean, mid lane is actually... The Jace kind of looks gankable, but Elijah taking a tower shot. Unfortunately, it does make him lose that trade in the long run, but myCash is running low on mana up there, so might be in some trouble. We'll see maybe if the Gragas wants to visit that top side and make something happen.
Seems like he might.
Yeah, he's taking
the tower hit though.
Yeah, it's so difficult whenever the unfortunate tower hits keep coming through. Definitely feeling his pain, so just gonna take those Krugs and call it a day. Actually, he is staying. Might see something happen, but speaking of maybe something happening, look at the Blitzcrank angle here. Not gonna pull the trigger, but look at this. Here comes the Gragas. Has to flash away, understandably so. And that reminds me, I don't know. I'm probably the only person that does this, watching like the LPL content they make with the player. Actually, I'm gonna pause that because look at this hook. Fantastic. No summoner spell burn, but still a lot of damage onto the Ashe.
Yeah,
but
Lantern.
Yeah, definitely a very good trade for Blue-White's bot side. I'm gonna pause that though because the regank might be coming in here. Yeah, I guess who's back? Back again. Gragas back.
myCash
you might want to kill. Yeah, I mean, he's not really going anywhere. There we go. Plays it patiently. Finally finds the body slam angle, but it might be too late. Look at this Bobos. Gonna come in. First blood picked up by myCash. Now they might chase the fat man, but I think he's just gonna be able to get away. And
Nice
still
getting
able
my
to flip the
cash
script.
money. Picking up that first blood there, decides, you know what? No, I don't think you can beat me. Like Elijah hadn't picked up or hadn't gone for that first recall, so ends up suffering a bit. And Stefan gets caught out and dies to Bobas. Oh no!
The ultimate bait, making him think you're safe with the recall, and the Jarvan comes out of nowhere, even flashed, but it was too late. The auto attack already went through, and that is now 2 kills over the Blue Whites, who have just been playing this so well so far.
Starting out fantastically, Mycash already got the level 6, already starting up stacking on that Dark Seal. We were talking about being a big tanky boy, but it turns out you want to get a little bit of damage in that build. You've got the Arcane Comet. You can look towards doing that. Obviously, Bobas is going to be pretty tanky as well. The current build being the Gore Drinker Bruisery style. But I mean, again, if you can accelerate the game fast enough, sometimes you don't need a big beefy boy. You need another damage dealer.
Yeah. We saw that the other game where they were kind of lacking in the front line in the magic damage department, but they still just stat check their way to victory, and it might be the case here for Blue Whites if they can keep up the snowballing. I mean, it would definitely be bad for the Jace. That's a champion that you want to win the early game, or else you don't really feel their influence for the rest of the game. But it's still going for that tier build, so we'll have a tiny bit of scaling into the mid lane. Or mid-game, sorry. As now, he's going to try to make that happen. Gets a bit of a trade-in, but just not enough to make anything happen.
Power's been doing a good job of mitigating. Staying even on CS, keeping the Jace inside of his lane. Meanwhile, Blue Whites, we see start off first strike of the game. I kind of like that, the YOLO hook from Boltox, just to see if somebody is there. First strike will go across into their pockets. Still a minute until first Herald spawns onto the Rift. Although Stefan is already there, maybe traded across.
And yeah, this wave gonna crash here. Maybe could open up an opportunity with the Herald coming up soon. But actually first, we're gonna see a kill here in the bot lane. MKR able to pick that one up. And now there's a dive potential here. But Blue White's not gonna go for it. Playing safe, don't want to give them any angle to come back. So they just take the kill and leave. I mean, that was just a very well-executed little skirmish there in the bot lane.
Yeah, 15 seconds until the Herald comes up. If they hot-foot it, they might be able to make it in time, especially since Stefan right now seems to be more interested in taking the topside camps of Blue Whites than looking towards the Herald itself. Might find himself in a spot of bother if he runs into Bobas in that top side.
They're pulling off a lane swap here, so Blue White's bot lane going top, probably going to try to get priority for that Herald. And that's exactly what Blue Whites are trying to do, trying to get vision of the area to try to set this one up. Jack's going to take his reset. Ooh. Ash, Crystal Arrow, able to find somebody.
It lands on the Bobas instead. Oh, the collateral damage arrow is one of the most, not tilting, just randomly confusing. It's like, oh, you're walking to your lane, your screen flashes red and you can't move for 3 seconds. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess we live here now. Yeah,
there's one game that I had against an Ashe where it was just constant. I wasn't even the main target, but the arrow comes across the map and hits me in the face anyway, and it's so tilting. But yeah, unsurprisingly, Blue White just gonna go for this Herald play here. And now...
Move first?
Actually, I think maybe they... Yeah, no one contesting this one. So, yeah, first Herald...
There is nothing to be done, really.
Yeah, Elijah gonna try to find the fight here, trying to get Mycash to burn the ultimate defensively, but not afraid at all. Actually, might even be able to turn it in his favor. Definitely needs to respect that. Does have the Gragas nearby to hover, but still, that burst damage could come through at any moment. Gonna dash forward, use the ultimate. Oh, and there it goes! Gonna use the Unstoppable to run away. Now Mycash in some trouble being chased by the Gragas. We'll have to see where that one goes. Not gonna be able to find the first cast, but we'll see if the next one will land, and it does! Ooh, nice play! And that's the first kill going over to ESP.
Espagada on the board. In the meantime, Elijah able to stack up some plates. Got another wave coming in. Maybe able to get a third one. Mycash should come up quickly enough. The TP should disabuse any further pushing. Elijah, just clear out that wave. Look to recall with that golden pocket.
Oh, really
Flash
nice
is
hook
fast.
here. Oh, even draws the flash from Bulbas out. I don't think they're going to be able to stop this charge. They're certainly going to try, but yep, not nearly enough damage. It's really hard to make that happen. But in the top side, I think that was a Crystal Arrow thrown, or maybe it was just an E, but regardless, not going to be able to spot or hit anybody out. Blue-White's just going to continue to play this one a bit slow, and that's what you'd like to see. They definitely do have a bit of a scaling advantage with the Malphite and the Azir, but definitely got to worry about that Jax.
Absolutely,
No.
yeah. Hook to nowhere from Kralix. Gotta watch out, Boltox is obviously in the wings in case Espagada's bot lane get a little bit too frisky.
Yeah.
But right
Better
now,
to be safe.
kinda chilling.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Everyone just kind of chilling right now. I was gonna say, the minute until the next Drake comes up. TPs are available for all 4 solo laners. We're past the 10-minute mark, so probably it's likely to be Blue-Whites. Obviously have priority in, well, most of the map right now.
Don't check it, don't check it, don't check it!
Oh no!
Check
Oh
the
no!
brush. That's the #1 rule! It's the, what's it called? I don't remember, I'll talk about it later, because look at this topside fight. Taking a tower shot, Elijah's been taking a lot of those. Now MyCat's going to try to take advantage, but look at this. The Gragas from behind, once again, forcing the defensive ultimate out of MyCat.
That does mean that Stefan is locked into being topside for the time being. It does mean, as you say, MyCash will lose quite a lot of CS, will lose quite a bit of XP, but we'll be able to get a recall off 10 seconds until this Drake spawns, although the arrow coming into a mid lane.
Oh my goodness. An absolute sniper able to find the shot, but look at the shuffle. Pomo might be able to get away. Fox as well. Able to find a way out of that situation. Now Blue-White's rotating the river, going to try to pick up this Cloud Dragon. They already have one in their pocket.
Yeah.
Now, with 2 dragons, well, actually, they might not be able to do it. They are backing off. No, yeah, it looks like ESP are going to be able to pick this one up. Teleport going to be coming in from behind onto MyCash. Maybe could find something here. We'll have to see. No ultimate up yet. Elijah charging up that Counter-Strike, trying to find the stun, and he does use the ultimate as well, trying to find the kill. MyCash just running away, trying to get away, and he will, but not before taking a good amount of damage from the Jax.
In the meantime, Espagada did not stop the Drake. In fact, so much so that Blue-Whites are like, I bet, okay, well, we'll walk in and start it up ourselves then, get that dragon stacking continuing to roll forward. Second Drake picked up. We're onto another Infernal Rift, and with this Malphite looking a little bit more damage-oriented, although with that death, perhaps his pride is bruised enough that he may step back to the more standard tanky build.
Yep, and Jace getting close to finishing this goal, so that'll be a nice little gold spike for him there. Is opting for the Eclipse this game.
It might be worth checking the gold across the map. I mean, we already see the 2 kills for MKR. Elijah is doing a good job of knocking down some of those plates. We'll wait until the 14-minute mark comes through. We can take stock of the stonks across the map once the plates drop. But right now, again, we go back to a bit of a lull state. We've got a couple of minutes until the next Herald comes up. We've got 4 minutes until the next Drake comes up, and we go to some good old fisticuffs in the lanes.
Yeah, might actually see a topside 2v2. Both junglers are hovering. It does seem like Bullboss is interested in ganking, but is going to start channeling the recall, so maybe not yet. But look at that. We're seeing some interest on the side of ESP. They're sending 2 people up. We'll see how they can make this one happen. Gonna start to go on them. Jace, not quite there yet, so not a whole lot of potential. Unfortunately, they're just gonna reset and just kind of in this lull state, as you said, where we're just kind of hanging about. But look at this bottom lane tier 1 and this mid lane tier 1, both for ESP looking very low. All you need is 1 good siege, but look at good. This arrow looks good. Another across the map. Arrow just finding the mark. Pomo's going to be able to get the ultimate and get out again. I mean, Azir, the shuffle is just so good defensively, is able to get away, but still, you're showing them that they have to respect the Ashe.
Absolutely. That Ashe is not sleeping despite his player's name. And getting those stuns across the map, they haven't been converted into kills just yet. But as you say, it means that Blue-Whites have to stay aware. MyCash might find himself in a little bit of trouble. Stefan has found him in the pit.
Yep, and now ESP are collapsing, trying to find the kill. Gonna have to flash away, but Boba's still interested in trying to contest this, hovering around. Boltok's trying to find an off angle for this hook. Pomo here as well. ADC's farming in the mid side, so not a whole lot really gonna happen with the Herald yet. Just back to the siege. We'll see maybe if something will happen though. EQ not gonna be able to find anybody. Poke not really landing in general for ESP here, so Blue-White gonna be able to take the turret and leave.
Sundisk will be set up by Pomo, and they can look to then peel back, look to pick up the second Herald of the game, while that is watching vigilantly over the mid lane. We did see the top lane turret fall for the side of Espagada, picked up by Elijah. Now seems like a good time production, if possible. Have a look at the gold. As expected,
oh my god.
Elijah has been doing pretty darn well for himself. Picked up quite a lot of plates, picked up plenty of farm, puts himself 1.2k ahead of mycash. We did say, though, that this Malphite is one of those champions that will be useful no matter what. Elsewhere on the map, they've got to look at MKR 2 and 0 right now on the Xayah. 45, just casual 45 CS up on Sleepwee. That's nearly a 3k differential. We see a completed second item on the Xayah. We are nowhere near that for the Ashe right now.
Yeah, Navori quickly going to be the pickup here, so trying to find lots and lots of snares, trying to get a lot of damage into these fights. We'll see what the Xayah can do, especially with the Blitzcrank. Could lead to some good shenanigans. And speaking of the Blitzcrank, going to be able to find the hook here. That is probably a dead thresh, maybe not. Flash use just in time. Bulbous has not given up. Goes right in there, but might have to get his life for it just in time. The stopwatch comes through. We'll see if he can survive. He does for now. Still willing to fight. That's 3 kills now over to Blue-White. They're going to continue to siege. They have the Herald too.
And that is some faith in your team from Boas. Goes solo, goes golden to save himself just that little bit longer, and says, it is fine, my team got me, and his team got him takeoff.
Yeah, the team had his back there. Not going to use the Herald quite yet. Probably wants to use the setup for this Dragon that's coming up in 27 seconds. Maybe put it in the mid or bot lane to get some pressure away. We do see mycash does have TP, so he's going to take it to the top side of the map. Now we do actually I do want to point something out, which is the vision for Blue-Whites. They're going to be able to spot ESP if they want to come up to contest this. We'll see if maybe they want to set up a death rush with the Blitzcrank.
Might well be possible. Krelix just about survive. Felt the wind on his cheek as the rocket crab went past. Drake is now up, as you say. Of course, Blue-Whites would really quite like to pick up a soul point. They don't necessarily have to contest, though. They could let this one go. However, Bobas briefly in some trouble. Espagada will step back, but they are now being attacked from 2 sides.
Yeah, this is kind of a very awkward spot for them to be in between literally a rock and a hard place. As mycash trying to find an entry with the ultimate, but not able to do so. Boltox might try to find a very good hook if he can find it, but he is spotted out, so they might respect it and back off, which they do for now. Gonna throw out some poke to try to get something, but it's just not possible. Hook's not gonna land either. I think this should just go over to Blue-Whites, unless we see something cheeky from the Gragas. We will not, but look at this now. Blue-White instantly pulling the trigger, finding the engage, but look at Blitzcrank able to channel the hook before it gets stunned, able to go 1 for 1. The fight's gonna keep going. Blue-White's doing so much damage from this backline, but is it enough? They're trying to chase, trying to make something happen. It goes in, finds one, but that's all he can do before he goes down. Now Pomo trying to get in there, trying to find the kills, and he will. Gets 1, make it a double kill for MKR as well. They're gonna try to make it a triple, but it might have to be Pomo who picks this one up. Trying to hide in the alcove, trying to make something happen. Almost did, but that's an ace over to Blue-Whites.
It's an absolute bloodbath in the river takeoff. Looked good for a moment there for Espagada, but we are going to look back in onto this one. The hook landing onto Krelix. This is quite an old school one, but this is the my team got me play for Bobas. Gets that kill scored, survives the cask, and then, of course, team rallies around him. Wonderful to see. This is a lot of fast forwarding. We see the play come forward. And this is where Espagard kind of find themselves pincered. They make the choice to go towards bot side. Make sure that they don't get collapsed on. But the problem is, there's a Herald in bot side. Elijah has to go and answer that right now. And so, Blue Whites, they started up. The only real hope of sealing was Stefan with a Miracle Cask. Does not go in their way. Instead, though, they look to take the fight when Mycash goes onto Kralix. It looks okay. As I said, Forsland does some great damage, takes down Boltox. Mycash will fall as well. But after Elijah had to go all the way to bot lane, he sees the opportunity. He gets the kill onto Bobus. And unfortunately, the carries of Blue Whites stand strong, stand firm. Pomo and MKR will knock down the rest of Espigade, take that fight. I don't know. I think I heard somebody die in the time we were in the replay. I believe that is MKR picking up his 6th kill of the game. 3 items completed. And again, we need to emphasize this bot lane difference. 90 CS difference between the Xayah and the Ashe. 3 items to 1.5. MKR is terrifying right now. And I think unless Elijah or Stefan get right onto his face and eliminate him before he can get those feathers put down, then any fight is looking Blue White's favored.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Hello. Stefan,
nice to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Stefan, oh, actually, Pomo hit by the crystal arrow here. Now going in, Bobos trying to find something, but it's just not going to come through. Well,
Mycash coming in.
Actually, Mycash on the side here, now trying to find something. Bobos once again, a huge engage, but it is scattered, but it's just not going to matter. Sleepway falls down. Elijah's going to be next. That's a quick ace, and that might even be a quick end to the game. 22 minutes, quadra kill for MKR, and now their sights are set on the Nexus.
15 seconds until Kralix comes up, and he will be alone for another second, and it's still this Ashe who has yet to finish that second item, yet to get that Trinity Force. It's going to be Blue White knocking down the towers, knocking down the base, and securing their 3rd win of the split.
Oh, Play actually did almost knock him into the Nexus in the Cook will. So that's a kill over to the support, but it's just for consolation. Blue Whites picking up a very impressive win.
Another great win coming out for the side of Blue Whites. They will redeem themselves for their loss at the very start of the split. And again, it's similar to the previous game. We found early advantages pressed properly. There were a couple of perhaps moments where it could have been a bit dicey, but the dice did come up Blue Whites in most of these fights. And we see how the game ended up. MKR, absolute MVP performance, immense on that Xayah.
Yeah, and although they weren't able to pick up the win the first time around, they're able to do so this time. And I mean, it was just so impressive from them from start to finish, just pedal to the metal, absolutely hard carrying. And I mean, it was just so impressive. And it's really nice to see the Xayah really reap the benefits of winning that early lane.
The Tree of Wisdom was correct, by the way.
Yeah, the Tree of Wisdom was correct.
He predicted the Blue Whites win, and so it was. So good job there, I guess.
Yeah, I need to hit him up for lottery numbers later today. But besides that point, we are going to see if we're going to have an interview for this game. But to talk more about the game that we just saw, Brackish, I want to ask you, besides the Xayah, was there anyone else really that stood out on the side of Blue Whites?
Pomo looked really great on this Azir. Didn't have super highlight reel moments, but didn't necessarily need to when MKR was that huge. Got hit by cross map arrows twice. Didn't panic. Didn't fret. It's just shuffle Forsland away and, tip of the hat, back to his tower. No sweat. Don't worry about it. And then in that big fight, he was there, survived, positioned very, very well, used the ultimate properly, and then at the end of the fight, Espigade were pretty much completely out of juice, and look who's left alive. It's MKR and Pomo.
Yep, and the backline of Blue Whites definitely did feel like a very big factor. But I do also want to give credit to Bobos, was just so fantastic on the Jarvan today. And also to Boltox, the Blitzcrank was just smurfing today. It seemed like every single hook was hitting the mark, and especially that one fight in the mid lane where he hit 3 hooks in a row was just so good.
Absolutely. And we talk about Blitzcrank as this potential Thresh response. We saw it a couple of times. Kralix would look to find a play angle. Boltux would say, yeah, thank you very much. Grab him in and put the Chain Warden in a box.
Yep, definitely played that fantastically. But I do want to talk about Espargado. Definitely had some bright points. They looked pretty good in the lanes at the start of it, and the Ash arrows, they were definitely hitting the mark. Although Pomo was just responding perfectly, that doesn't discredit the accuracy that the Ash arrows had today.
No, definitely not. And the problem simply was MKR got too big to deal with. There was no way that Enchanted Crystal Arrow would ever land on the Xayah because you had Blitzcrank in front, you had Malphite in front, and you had a Featherstorm to deal with. Oh, and she had Cleanse as well.
Yeah, there's just so many safety valves for the Xayah to use. It makes the game so easy for her. Yeah, probably if I had to give an MVP vote, she would definitely get mine. I'm pretty sure everybody would. But yeah, just fantastic game from everybody. Yeah, so we're not going to have an interview. So I guess that'll be it from us here at the NLC. As usual, when we have days where we have lots of games, 3 or 4, sometimes 5 at once, we will be on the main channel so long as the main NLC is not using it. And you'll continue to see people such as myself, such as Brackish, and all the other wonderful casters we have on the team, as well as all these fantastic teams putting on these amazing banger games. So make sure to stay tuned and keep an eye out for the schedule for some more days in the future.
Absolutely. And a repeated shout out to our producer, observer, and Magical Cow. I don't know how he's doing it with the hooves, but he makes magic happen time and time again. So heads up, you need somebody, give him the ring.
Yep, exactly. Hats off to our amazing producer, and hats off to my amazing co-caster Brackish. Thank you so much for coming by, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much for coming by.
Yes.
These streams are fun, but they're only fun because we have all of you watching and enjoying these games. And we will see you soon next time for the next stream. For now, we sign off and wish you all a fantastic day. Have a good one.